Cleared. Roadwork starts today in New Lenox at the intersection US 6 and Parker Road. Indiana Toll Road has the usual construction slowdowns in Porter and Fort County with only one lane open each way. Traffic is a service of GoToMeeting, the Meeting MVP. GoToMeeting is the online meeting tool that lets you easily collaborate and present from anywhere with one click. You always put on your best performance. Step up your meeting game and start your free trial at GoToMeeting.com. Traffic answers when you need them most. I'm Jim Talamonte on AM 560, The Answer.
We've just had an urban and small stream flood advisory expire for DuPage County and northwestern Will and east central Cook counties. Now that those storms have shoved out of the area, leaving behind some fairly high water, as Jim said. But again, those small stream flood advisories are gone now, and the sun is returning. Let's get an update on the forecast in our aircomfort.com Weather Center with meteorologist Kevin Snyder.
Areas of fog this morning with a shower in the area early on. Then clouds will break for some sun and it will become breezy for the afternoon. High today of 72 and a low tonight 49. I'm Kevin Snyder on AM 560, The Answer.
61 right now at O'Hare, 52 along Chicago's lakefront. Next news coming up at 5:30. Chicago's Morning Answer with Dan and Amy starts now on AM 560, The Answer.
This hourly segment is brought to you by M.J. Miller & Company Jewelers. All that glitters is gold at M.J. Miller in downtown Barrington.
This is Chicago's Morning Answer with Dan Proft and Amy Jacobson on AM 560, The Answer.
Good morning, Dan and Amy. So today's the big day.
Yeah.
That's the day Amy mutilates her cat, right?
Oh, no. It's the day that Donald Trump meets with Paul Ryan.
Aren't you getting your cat declawed today?
Well, I just literally made it into the station because I dropped her off this morning. And then it's not mutilated. There's a new process they use. It's called laser treatment.
Oh, really?
So it's supposed to be
Cat
less...
lovers, listen up.
No, please.
312-642-5600, turnkey.pro answer line.
Please, don't pass judgment on me, please. I did a lot of research.
We will have the hotline for the ASPCA a little bit later in the show that you can call. We'll also have Amy's home address so you can form the protest this afternoon.
You don't understand. PETA, they are a very violent group.
They're going to take you into custody.
They burnt down Mayor Daley's house in New Buffalo, Michigan because police killed that cougar in Ravenswood a few years ago. Remember that? Not a few years ago. It's probably like 7 years ago now. There was a cougar near Audubon Elementary School.
Well, a cougar should know better than to stray from Rush Street.
Hey-o.
Thank you very much.
But no, seriously, PETA was so upset that they went to New Buffalo to burn down a summer home. The problem is they burned down the wrong home. They burned down the other home. So don't underestimate the evil of PETA.
I'm actually going to give him Rom's address.
Oh, yeah.
Sorry about it.
Okay.
So you dropped the cat off for
her
the
name
mutilation.
She has a name, and it's Kit Kat. And she was great. She got into the crate fine. She didn't meow once on the drive out here to the suburbs. I'm trying not to cry.
You probably had her sedated. There she is now, meowing. That's a live listen in from Kit Kat at the gulag where you dropped her off.
But after the procedure with the lasers, then they do a post-laser treatment that makes them... I'm trying not to laugh because I'm trying... I'm trying not to laugh because I'm trying not to cry because I've been tormented. I couldn't even sleep last night, really.
What happened to we had suggestions from listeners about nerfing the paws.
Yeah, the soft claw paw.
Yeah. So what about that?
If I could show you the scratches right here, that didn't work well. I went to buy those and...
You got to double bag the claws.
Yeah, I'd have to get... like a hawk glove on me in order because she's just scratches and scratches and scratches. She did not take well to those things. We tried to clip her claws, like file them down. That didn't work. And so this is a last resort.
What about just plying her with alcohol to leave her in kind of an inebriated state?
I don't believe. Yeah, because somebody called in and said, why don't you give them sedatives every day? Just stick it in their food. I don't believe in drugging my cat for the rest of its life. I don't think that's humane. So I took her in. There's a laser procedure. The vet that is doing the procedure said he did it to his own cat at age 6. She's fine.
Oh.
It sounds painful.
And so then they do the laser, and then the next day they do this laser where it's a cooling gel that makes them feel better.
Yeah.
And then they're sedated for the next 2 days, but it's 2 days until I get to see my baby again. But I might go for a visit tomorrow after the show.
I don't think she's going to be real excited to see you. That's just a guess.
But when we were
you
kids,
and Dr. Mengele lording over.
Everybody declawed their cats, and I'm not declawing the back kinds. I'm just declawing the 2 front paws. And your little angel there, may she rest in peace.
He.
I can't believe you had a cat named Angel that was a he. Anyway, your transgender cat there.
Oh, now you've done it.
Angel was declawed too, right?
I'm thinking of the Sarah McLachlan song that we played at Angel's funeral, which I sang.
Yeah.
Yeah, there it is.
There it is. I love you, Angel.
On today's show, we remember my boyhood cat, Angel.
Who was a boy?
Call in with your memories of Angel.
312-642-5600. Yeah. I need to, but I prayed over this last night. I said, Lord, please help me decide what to do, because if I either have to put her down or I have to declaw her.
It seems like a bit of a Hobson's choice, and it also seems a bit severe for somebody just like scratching.
Oh no, she's destroyed my house.
Well,
she's just destroyed my house, but also she's attacked my boys, and she attacks people that come in the door, and that's not cool. You can't have a killer cat at your door.
Why don't you get her trained?
Well, I've tried every product on the market, and I've sprayed her with water when she scratches people, because that's supposed to be the worst thing for a cat. And that hasn't worked. And I can't put her on a farm in Wisconsin.
Why don't you shave her in the middle of the night to teach her a lesson?
Oh, no, we are shaving her, too, after the procedure. She's going to look like Mr. Bigglesworth from Austin Powers.
All right. Anybody has comments on Amy and her free cat, feel free to call in. Candace in Chicago's, you're on Chicago's Morning Answer. Hi, Candace.
Candace, can you hear us? Wait, hold on. It was going so well, and Candace is actually saying something nice about me.
Hold on a second. We're going to put Candace on hold. I don't know what's happening.
David Taker. Hello, Candace.
Candace,
hello?
There you go. Whoa.
Okay. It must have been you. Sorry.
Yes.
Amy, I'm so proud of you, because people get hysterical over this subject.
Like me.
Hysterical. And every caller the other day was like, no. And I have had 3 cats, and all of them were declawed, and there were no issues whatsoever. And you got a female, and females are I'm sorry, and cats,
they're mean.
Cats they're mean. Okay, the males are like dogs, and the females are kind of...
Are we talking about the cats or their owners?
Hey. Female cats are not nice. They're not.
If you bring up the subject, people go crazy. And the calls last week were hilarious, where they're like telling you, some of the things they were telling you to do were just ridiculous. So I'm glad you did it. They get over it very quickly, and there's nothing going to be wrong with your cat. And isn't this better than having to put it to sleep or taking it to the pound?
Yeah, I do. Or just leaving it in the forest preserve.
Thanks for the call, Candace. Just leaving it alone.
Well, a lot of people do that. They walk in with a dog on a leash and then walk out with just a leash. Or with a cat in a crate and then walk out with just a crate.
I walk around with just a leash, pretending like I'm looking for the dog. Just kind of a conversation starter. You know those like petrified leashes you can walk around with?
Oh, yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
Like, where's your dog? Oh, it's my pet dog.
Yeah. Can you help me find Fido? Patches.
But I did
Knuckles.
call Lisa Madigan's office, because I believe that there was price gouging going on.
Oh, gosh.
What? It costs almost $1,000 to declaw a cat in the city of Chicago. And in the suburbs, it's about $200. That's a big difference. And they told me they're not going to take the case.
Yeah, stunning. They got nothing else to do. I'm surprised that she doesn't pick it up.
It's a different process, different procedure, and then the stay time is longer in the city than it is in the suburbs.
But I tell you, the Attorney General's office, the state of Illinois, is very knowledgeable about the differentials and cat declawing services in the suburbs versus the city. I'm glad to see that our tax dollars are being put to good use.
Yeah, I've spent a lot of my time investigating this.
Why didn't you just, like you and the kids, just like wear hazmat suits around the house? I mean, they're comfortable, and then you don't have to worry about the clawing.
But then we can't have people over to visit. Not like a lot of people are coming, but
well,
we are.
Now they can come visit You're a pathetic, dehumanized cat. That's a real conversation starter, isn't it? You monster.
It's in essence a sophisticated heat beam which we called a laser.
There's only one radio show in Chicago talking about today's biggest stories and telling you what they really mean. That show is this one, Chicago's Morning Answer on AM 560, The Answer.
It's cat-tastic. The forecast, some sun returning today, but we will have some fog this morning. Possible shower, then breezy conditions will be kicking in. A high of 72 degrees, though. And then tomorrow, some sun, then clouds, breezy, rain late in the afternoon or early evening. A high of 66 degrees. Let's get the travel times. Here's Jim Telemonte.
Thanks, Amy. Good morning. Good morning, Dan. Adams Tollway westbound I-90. There's still some early morning work in place from the Tri-State to Lee. That's in the left lane, scheduled till 6. Elsewhere, the expressways and tollways things have settled down a little bit. No crashes, incidents, or water-related closures to report. There is some high water in West Chicago on Roosevelt Road at Pearl. And a new Lenox roadwork starts today at the intersection of US 6 and Parker Road. Jim Talamonte, the Guardian Security Services Traffic Center.
Rolling hills and beautiful prairie views. You can take it all in when you play golf at Golf Club of Illinois in Algonquin. Play at one of the finest golf courses in Illinois with a special seasonal deal from ChicagoRadioDeals.com. The Golf Club of Illinois is a classic link-style course featuring high grasses, treacherous sand bunkers, and strategically placed mounds on each hole. This course is a stern test for all skill levels and is consistently ranked among the top 10 public courses to play by Chicagoland Golf. So find out why Golf Club of Illinois is a secret favorite for those looking for a unique, challenging round of golf. Play with your favorite foursome or golf buddies for only $95. That includes the cart, and it's usually almost $200. Or for the dedicated golfer, tee up the preferred player membership, normally $380, only $165 at ChicagoRadioDeals.com. That includes discounted rates for rounds of golf, cart, and 2 bonus rounds of golf during the 2016 season. Why wait? For sun and fun, start summer early at ChicagoRadioDeals.com.
QL1, this is Control. Ground crew is secure. Over. Copy that, Control. Rockets powering up. Over. QL1, this is Control. Does Rocket Mortgage require me to fill out a bunch of paperwork? Negative, Control. Rocket Mortgage by Quicken Loans is the first on-demand mortgage machine that quickly and seamlessly imports your financial data. You can go through the entire mortgage approval process in minutes. Copy that, QL1. That is fast, like rocket fast. Do you think that's why they named it Rocket Mortgage? Over. Affirmative, Control. That's probably why they named it Rocket Mortgage. It also works on any internet-ready device, so you can get a Rocket Mortgage at any time or place you choose. Roger that, QL1. So technically speaking, you could get a Rocket Mortgage at rocket speed from inside an actual rocket? Please just press the button, Control. Over. Copy that, QL1. 3, 2, 1. Rocket Mortgage at QuickenLoans.com. Push button. Get mortgage.
Rocket. Visit for cost information and conditions. Equal housing lender. Licensed in all 50 states. NMLSConsumerAccess.org number 3030.
Your favorite restaurant, a smashing Broadway play, the most talented doctor. There are many things in life that'll make you go the extra distance. So why not take extra time when it comes to your dental health? That's why Artistic Dentistry in Homer Glen should be your first and only call at 708-301-6060. Artistic Dentistry is Destination Dentistry. Dr. Akrush and his team see patients from as far as the northern suburbs to northwest Indiana. And they're so confident you'll receive the smile you want, they'll pay for your gas. That's right. All new patients receive a $25 gas card and a free Zoom take-home whitening kit during their first visit. With a 5-star rating from more than 300 online reviewers, you'll see why Artistic Dentistry can be Destination Dentistry for you and your family. Schedule now at 708-301-6060 or online at artisticdentistry-pc.com. Must mention this ad for gas card while supplies last.
AM 560, The Answer.
Dan and Amy.
Soon.
Nice. Other big news today besides the Paul Ryan Donald Trump meeting is Amy's capping to Claude. Steve on the 88 has got a lot of puns running this morning. New song by the Ray Meow-ens.
Oh.
I don't want to be sedated.
Yeah.
Oh, Steve.
Steve, you can do a little bit better than that. But other breaking news while you were sleeping that happened overnight, is George Zimmerman.
Yes.
He's selling his gun that he used to kill Trayvon Martin with. He claims it's a piece of American history. Family, I don't know if they've responded yet because literally this happened while you were sleeping. So I don't know if anyone's going to bid on it, but the starting bid is $5,000. He claims, again, it's a piece of American history. Do you think he should be able to sell
He's
his piece?
Well, the question is not should he be able to sell his gun. Of course, he should be able to sell his gun. It's his private property. He can sell it if he wants, so long as he does so legally. The question is, would you bid on it? 312-642-5600, turnkey.pro answer line, 64636DA, turnkey.pro text line. Would you bid on the gun that George Zimmerman used to shoot and kill Trayvon Martin, and that he is now auctioning off, and he's auctioning off because he needs the money ostensibly, or why?
Yeah, well, he said that some of the proceeds, because he thinks that this is going to sell for thousands of dollars. He said some of the proceeds he's going to use to help police officers who are victims of Black Lives Matter protests. Here's Mr. Zimmerman.
I thought it's time to move past the firearm, and if I sell it and it sells, I move past it. What I've decided to do is not cower. I'm a free American, and I can do what I'd like with my possessions.
But some argue that he's spitting in the face of Trayvon Martin's family and that this is going to reopen old wounds by him, capitalizing off of a murder weapon that was used to kill their son.
And a portion of the proceeds are going to help police officers who have been victimized by Black Lives Matter.
Yeah, he said, I'm proud to announce that a portion of the proceeds will be used to fight BLM violence against law enforcement officers, ensure the demise of Angela Corey's persecution career, and Hillary Clinton's anti-firearm rhetoric.
I think there's a better way to raise money for that cause than the sale of the gun. I think look, again, he can do whatever he wants with it within the bounds of the law. But would I bid on George Zimmerman's gun, the gun he used to kill Trayvon Martin? No, I think it's a bit ghoulish.
I'm surprised that he still had it in his possession. Well, I don't know. I mean, I guess it was his right. It's his gun.
It's his gun.
It's his gun.
He was acquitted of the charges against him, so it's his possession. I think it's a bit macabre to me. Regardless of whether you believe the jury verdict, and I do, and if you remember the jury verdict in the Zimmerman trial, you remember the jurors who discussed the decision they came to after the verdict. And people sometimes have a tendency to forget this.
Yeah, it
somehow
me.
wired justice. Yeah. There were jurors who were crying, saying, we wanted to convict him. We didn't like him, but we were instructed on the law, and the facts in combination with the law in Florida said we had to find him not guilty. So that's good enough for me. But that doesn't mean that it's an event that should be celebrated. It doesn't mean that it's an item from that event where a young man died, whoever was the aggressor, and clearly the jury decided that Trayvon Martin was the aggressor effectively. It's just weird to memorialize that in this kind of way. I just find it a bit gauche, don't you?
But it's so George Zimmerman, though, because he's so flamboyant, so never playing
by the rules. Flamboyant is not a word I would use to describe
George Zimmerman. He's not a wallflower, that's for sure. And he's had some very public fights and spats with his girlfriends and his ex-wife and his soon-to-be ex-girlfriend. But he said that selling this firearm is going to free him somehow. And I think that that's just a bunch of bunk. I think he's just media hungry, and he is desperate for cash because he's not working right now, and he is, he's still living in Sanford, Florida, and he wants to, revisit this. But for him to say it's a piece of American history, is it a piece of American history? Maybe because President Obama said if I had a son, he'd look like Trayvon Martin.
Oh, yes,
remember
he
that?
did. Oh, I remember.
Sorry,
I remember
Sasha and Malia,
all the hits
son.
from President Obama when it comes to racial politics, most of which were hits and misses. But
where's the gun that was used to kill Martin Luther King Jr.? Is that on display somewhere?
I wouldn't make that comparison.
No, okay. Well, I'm just if there's any other weapons that are on display that were used in high-profile cases.
Well, the point is, I mean, look, I know some people who've bought John Wayne Gacy art.
Right, the clown
Pogo,
pictures.
the Pogo the clown.
You know somebody who bought Pogo?
Yeah, who bought some of the clown paintings he did.
I just got the chills.
Yeah, I think it's gross, and this is why you remember there's been legislation it states to like the no profit prisoner legislation. You can't profit from your crimes effectively, right. And that's a good thing. But yeah, it's not about the kind of where these are warehouses. I mean, if I was George Zimmerman and I was involved in that incident and I had killed a young man,
whether it was from
the gun as a reminder of that event is not something I would keep around.
Okay,
I don't know. I mean, I own guns, but I would have that melted down. I wouldn't want anything to do with that event.
He said he got the gun back 2 days after the trial and has had it in his possession ever since. Hasn't touched it, but has had it with him because he owns other weapons. Remember when he was speeding through Texas and the cop pulled him over? Yeah. And he said, "Do you have any weapons on you?" And he said, "Yeah, I have a gun in my glove compartment." I mean, he was fine.
He had a permit for it.
Yeah, he had a permit for it.
Ed in Oak Brook, you're on Chicago's Morning Answer. Hey, Ed. Oh, we're hold on a second, Ed. We've got Ed?
Yeah.
There we go.
Can you hear me?
Yep.
Yeah, I just want to say Amy is so judgmental based on nothing. Media reports saying that George Zimmerman's this and that. He never even met the guy. But you know the media is nothing but liars. They don't really tell the truth. They want to paint their picture. You weren't there that night when George Zimmerman had to defend himself. And the guy was doing absolutely great things for that neighborhood. But yet, Amy, you believe that whatever the media
He was a
said,
cop wannabe.
You're jumping all over him.
No, I'm not jumping. I said he was a cop wannabe. I mean, he was a little overzealous at best.
Well, Amy, when do you go patrol your neighborhood, Amy? You're a wannabe coach, basketball coach. You're a wannabe veterinarian.
Yeah.
You're a wannabe everything.
Yeah.
And you want to be a wannabe TV reality star, too.
No,
so don't be so judgmental all the time.
Thanks for the call, Ed. Thanks for the call.
Yeah. Well, I mean, the jury found him not guilty, so who cares what I think? That's what I'm just explaining the story that he's trying to sell his weapon. Bidding begins at 10 a.m. Central Time.
Yeah, wannabe cat mutilator.
Before you see it on TV, share it on Facebook, or read about it in the paper, hear it here first. This is Chicago's Morning Answer on AM 560. The Answer.
You know the name Barbara Walters. Now remember the company, Ameritrust Mortgage.
Ameritrust Mortgage was formed along with a talented professional staff that makes your mortgage process easy, swift, and cost-efficient for you, the home buyer, and for those who refinance. Ameritrust is all-inclusive, start to finish, the way lending should be. At Ameritrust, we believe it has been our privilege to have helped thousands of people over 30 years with purchasing or refinancing their home. We are here to help. Let us customize a loan program for your specific needs, FHA, VA, or conventional. At Ameritrust, the responsibility belongs to me. It's my name on the door. I am the president. I am Barbara Walters. Call Ameritrust now, 815-459-7303. Again, that number is 815-459-7303, or visit us at am560myhome.com.
Ameritrust Mortgage is an equal housing lender. Illinois Residential Mortgage Licensee number 720, NMLS number 217229. Hey, size matters. Look to the Italians. They made it happen. The Colosseum, the Vatican, the Tower of Pisa, and Augustino's Rock and Roll Deli Sandwiches. Yeah! Their signature subs are as big as your forearm, hefty and fully loaded with the highest quality deli meats on artisan bread. Their homemade Italian beef sandwiches are sliced paper thin, using their own family recipe. And if you can't choose between the burgers, wraps, or hand-rolled meatball sandwiches, then get them all. Feed your inner rock star. Eat amongst authentic rock and roll memorabilia while you enjoy the soundtrack of your glory days. Or pick up and go. Either way, Augie's offers fast, fresh, and affordable food. Even gluten-free options. Augustino's Rock and Roll Deli, Carroll Stream or West Chicago. Be sure to visit augustinos.com for full menus and directions. And if the party's on at your house, look to Augie's for catering. Don't make it happen with Augustino's Rock and Roll Deli.
AM 560, The Answer.
Coming up on Chicago's Morning Answer,
The two men with the lowest approval ratings in the Republican Party meet to decide if one will be the convention chairman for the other. That's at 5:38.
And later, two dogs were almost on the chopping block on a family's table in South Korea, ready to be eaten. Well, they have been rescued, and they are here in Chicago, not making this up. But first, let's go back into the newsroom and say good morning to Mike Scott.
Cloudy and 60 degrees. Brazilian lawmakers have voted to impeach President Dilma Rousseff just a few months ahead of the Olympics in Rio. Rousseff is accused of using accounting tricks to hide large budget deficits. She will be suspended and replaced for up to 6 months by the vice president of the Senate. Malaysia says 2 more pieces of debris are almost certainly from Malaysian Airlines Flight 370 that disappeared 2 years ago. They have been found on islands near South Africa. Another attack in Baghdad following yesterday's wave of bombings that killed 93. So far, police say 5 of their own, 5 policemen, have been killed. Nissan this morning investing more than $2 billion for controlling interest in rival, troubled competitor Mitsubishi. Donald Trump heads to Capitol Hill to meet with GOP leaders, including House Speaker Paul Ryan.
We want to get to know each other. I think we want to see if we have the same ideas, because I represent a large group of people with very strong ideas and foundations.
Ryan says there must be some type of real unification of the GOP.
To pretend we're unified without actually unifying, then we go into the fall at half strength. This election is too important to go into an election at half strength.
Hillary Clinton this morning questioning why Donald Trump will not release his tax returns.
We got 8 years on our website right now. So you got to ask yourself, why does he want to release them? Yeah, well, we're going to find out.
Clinton on the stump campaigning in New Jersey last night. A 2013 North Central Texas fertilizer plant blast that left 15 dead. It's now believed to have been a criminal act. ATF special agents say someone purposefully started that fire in a seed building of the West Fertilizer
Check. 1, 2,
Company.
3. 1, 2.
At least 4 have been shot in Chicago's Park Manor neighborhood on the city's south side. The victims were approached by someone on foot late Wednesday, who then opened fire and fled in another vehicle. Mayor Rahm Emanuel preparing to borrow about $600 million while his administration is still developing an alternative to the pension reform plan that was rejected by the Illinois Supreme Court. San Diego swept out the Cubs. Texas beat the White Sox. Vancouver over the fire. The news service of TimeshareExitTeam.com. Do you feel like you're trapped in your timeshare contract? Get out now safely and legitimately at TimeshareExitTeam.com. They'll get you out or give you a full refund. 844-321-EXIT. 844-321-EXIT. A check of traffic and weather on the way next on AM 560.
The average Republican voter out there right now is looking for an outsider who will blow the whole damn thing up.
The Joe Walsh Show.
I don't want somebody who comes from Washington. I don't want somebody to get along with Democrats. Not this year. I want the whole system blown up. That's why Trump, or that's why Cruz.
The Joe Walsh Show. Weeknights starting at 5. Right after Sean Hannity at 2 on AM 560. The Answer.
This year, that's where Republican voters are at.
It's Galaxy's free sale. Free installation, free design, and free financing.
773-783-8300. Call Galaxy.
Are you hiring? Do you know where to post your job to find the best candidates? Posting your job in one place isn't enough to find quality candidates. If you want to find the perfect hire, you need to post your job on all the top job sites. And now you can. With ZipRecruiter.com, you can post your job to 100-plus job sites, including social media networks like Facebook and Twitter, all with a single click. Find candidates in any city or industry nationwide. Just post once and watch your qualified candidates roll in to ZipRecruiter's easy-to-use interface. No juggling emails or calls to your office. Quickly screen candidates, rate them, and hire the right person fast. Find out today why ZipRecruiter has been used by over 400,000 businesses. And right now, listeners can try ZipRecruiter for free by going to ZipRecruiter.com/radiotalk. That's ZipRecruiter.com/radiotalk. One more time. To try it for free, go to ZipRecruiter.com/radiotalk.
5:36, let's get an update on the roads in our Guardian Security Services Traffic Center. The latest with Jim Talamonte.
Thanks, Mike. In West Chicago, there's some flooding at the intersection of Roosevelt Road and Pearl. I-55 northbound at 355. There's a crash on the right shoulder. Inbound Ryan has heavy traffic. Cermak into the Bird Circle. 17 minutes, 95th to downtown. Bishop Ford, heavy early with delays from around 130th to the merge. It's already 25 minutes from 8094 to the Ryan. Some road work on the westbound Adams Tollway from the Tri-State to Lee. That's in the left lane. Scheduled till 6 a.m. Traffic is a service of CiCi's Pizza. Ready for an adventure in flavor? CiCi's brings 3 new flatbread pizzas to the unlimited buffet. Try the new spinach Alfredo, chicken bacon club, and honey barbecue chicken. More flavor to explore for the same great value. Just $5 and change. Only at CiCi's. Better. Believe it. Traffic answers when you need them most. I'm Jim Talamonte on AM 560, The Answer.
Chicago's Morning Answer continues next. Your official Chicagoland weather forecast from the AirComfort.com Weather Center. 80 years of quality mechanical solutions for your business. Sun returns after a foggy and damp morning. Turning breezy as well this afternoon with a high of 72 and a low of 49 overnight. 60 at O'Hare. Next news at 6. Chicago's Morning Answer with Dan and Amy continues next on AM 560, The Answer.
This hourly segment is brought to you by Military Mortgage Talk with host Tony Gatliff. Sunday mornings at 9 on AM 560, The Answer.
If you're talking about it, I'll be talking about it. Dennis Prager here. Join me this morning at 11, right here on AM 560, The Answer.
Good morning, Dan and Amy. I'll tell you what, just thinking about that Brazilian impeachment story, President Rousseff impeached. I think they kick her out of office for 6 months, and then the vice president takes over.
What happens in the interim?
The vice president takes over.
Okay.
And then
he's officially elevated to.
And he presides over the catastrophe that will be the Rio Olympics.
Who's going to that?
But I'll tell you what, if you want to clean out the Augean stables in Springfield and Washington, D.C., it's real simple.
Do what the Brazilians did? Everyone should get a Brazilian? Sorry.
No. Ow. Well,
it does hurt.
Let me think about the answer to that question and address that later. But what I was thinking of is apply the Brazilian standard.
Yes. That's what I meant.
Standard for impeachment. She got impeached for using accounting tricks to hide large budget deficits.
Wow.
By that standard,
Mike Madigan would be
the halls
gone.
of power would be cleaned out in D.C. and Springfield.
Wait,
and
who doesn't
other places.
do that in Chicago? I mean, besides the Republicans, of course, they don't.
No, they're complicit too.
Mm-hmm.
Boy, it's a fascinating story in Brazil. It really is. The subtext of what is really at play. The idea that Brazil is a bunch of fiscal conservative hawks, such that they would impeach a president over accounting tricks to hide budget deficits. I find that implausible. There has to be a subtext of power politics, but we'll delve into that later. Speaking of power politics, we have Donald Trump and Paul Ryan meeting today to get to know one another.
To be a fly on the wall for that meeting.
Get to love one another. And Trump was on O'Reilly, and he's, telegraphing that it's going to be a good, productive meeting. He's looking forward to it.
Well, I think the opening statement is, number one, I have a lot of respect for Paul, and I think we're going to have a very good meeting, I hope. And I think the big thing is, in the history of the Republican Party, nobody has ever gotten more votes than I've gotten in the primaries. I mean, I'm, millions and millions of votes additional, and I guess by the time we finish, it's going to be many millions of votes ahead of anybody else, any other Republican in the primaries. That's a big thing. Plus, a lot more people came out to vote this year in the primaries than they did 4 years ago or at any other time. So I think that's a great sign, and, we're doing very well in the polls.
That'll be great for him to recount all that for Paul Ryan. I'm sure he'll be excited to listen to that.
Okay, he'll be looking like he's the adult in the room, like, all right, anything else?
Right.
Junior, anything else you want to add?
I'll just say, Donald, I've been following the race.
Yeah,
I know.
I'm
that's
here
why
to congratulate you.
That's why we're having this meeting, because, you're going to be the nominee. But here is the more important thing that Trump
Right.
said in terms of an overture to Paul Ryan in advance of the meeting, this on O'Reilly, about the convention.
He's a very good man. He wants what's good for the party, and I think we're going to have very positive results.
Did you
and I'd love, frankly, for him to stay and be chairman.
Which is the smart play for Trump, to keep Paul Ryan as
yeah.
chairman of the convention, to minimize this fissure, to really actually remedy the fissure and move on. It's just an unnecessary public spat, and it doesn't really serve the interests of either man.
Yeah, but what is Paul Ryan going to discuss with Donald Trump? Is he going to try to shape him? Is he going to try to say, hey, tone your rhetoric down as a candidate now moving forward? You have a serious, you have a chance to become our next Republican president, and don't ruin it for yourself or for the party as a whole.
Well, this doesn't help.
And can he control Trump?
Well, he can't control Trump. I don't think he's going to try. That's not about controlling him. It's about kind of having a mano-a-mano discussion about winning. And, there may be some differences of opinion about the path to victory. Now, Paul Ryan lost a little bit of leverage with a poll released by Public Policy Polling yesterday.
I told you to destroy that poll.
Yes, exactly.
Were you supposed to shred that thing?
Finds only 40% of Republican voters are happy with Ryan's stint as Speaker so far. His honeymoon short-lived. 44% disapprove. Of course, among all voters, it's worse because you rope in the Democrats. But so his numbers are not particularly strong either. And I would suggest there are different reasons for why the two gentlemen have bad numbers. Paul Ryan, it's because he's not perceived as standing up, like Republicans in general, which is what gave rise to Trump. He's not projecting strength. He's not perceived as standing up to President Obama. That budget deal, the most recently, was a catastrophe, and it continues in this kind of instances of capitulation by congressional Republicans at the face of President Obama, and people are tired of it. So that's Paul Ryan's problem. Now, Donald Trump projects strength, so that's kind of like, you piece these guys together a little bit. But he is not the policy-focused guy that Paul Ryan is. Mm-hmm. He's not the measured speaker that Paul Ryan is. He is not, frankly, the class act that Paul Ryan is. So if maybe the two could do a little bit of character trait sharing and come away both stronger from the meeting.
I have a prediction that Donald Trump is going to ask Paul Ryan to be his running mate.
That prediction is wrong.
I know. Well, I'm just saying at some point in time, he'll probably bring that up like, hey, you know what? Why aren't you my running mate? Let's do this together.
And then he'll say, oh, right. Now I remember you were Mitt Romney's running mate and your numbers. And no. That doesn't make any sense. And Paul Ryan would never do it. He's not going to give up the speakership. Donald Trump would never offer it. That's not going to happen. But I think there is an opportunity for them to just kind of do a little bit of sharing of perspective on how to win. I think if they're both focused on the conversation of how do we get from where you are now, and you have to understand you have challenges, and I'm sure Trump in a private moment will admit that. He knows the numbers. He obsesses about the numbers. If that's the focus of the conversation, then I think it will end up being productive. I think they'll come out with hands raised, and we can put to bed this little controversy.
But what if he explodes because he's a firecracker? What if things don't go his way and he leaves the meeting early and walks out? Do you see that happening?
I don't. And one of the things we've found out about Trump over the course of the last year, from a lot of people that know him and have had interactions with him. Almost to a person, they say he's different in person. He's different one-on-one than he is, on the campaign trail or at these rallies. Even Nancy Pelosi said she met him once and he was a gentleman.
Oh, I met him twice and he was a lovely man.
Well, so
I mean, he was engaging. He seemed to care. He made a connection. It kind of reminded me a little bit of Bill Clinton.
So here's the thing with Trump. It's if you corner him, he comes out fighting. If you attack him, then he attacks back. But I don't see Paul Ryan doing that. I don't think that's his personality. I don't see Donald Trump storming out of any meeting. I think this is going to be...
Well, that's what the mainstream media said at 3 o'clock this morning.
Well, that's what they want. But
yeah,
I don't
that's
not what they're going to get. And I think they're both going to come out of this meeting, and it's going to be, much ado about nothing, which is where both of them which is what both of them needed to be, frankly. Randy and Sandwich, you're on Chicago's Morning Answer. Oh, hold on a second, Randy. Hold on. Randy.
Hey, Dan, this is step one, I think, of what we're going to see a long trend of Trump getting people back in line and corralling everybody to the direction that the voters want to go in. And I think what we're going to see, if I can imagine how this meeting is going to go, he's going to have Paul climb up on his lap, and he's going to give him his spanking, and he's going to tell him, you got to play nice because I got the people backing me, and the people aren't backing you. And that Paul Ryan is part of the establishment. It's obvious. He's made some bad decisions up until this point.
Do you think? But Randy, let me ask you a question. Do you think? I don't think Trump's going to do that. But do you think if Trump did that, hey, listen, the people don't like you, they like me, and you're part of the establishment, and you failed. I mean, you think that's the line of discussion Trump is going to take, and do you think it would be productive? I don't think that either of those things.
I think that it would be, because this is what we're telling him the voters want him to do. We want him to go there and blow it up. And I think the moment that he starts to kind of side up with them or love up with them, then all of a sudden everybody that kind of went in there and told him, we want you to go be that wrecking ball, that's what we commanded you to do. If he doesn't do that, then now it's going to backfire on him. That's the calling that we're telling him to go there and break it up.
All right, thanks for the call, Randy. Randy.
I'm sorry, I went to my happy place.
Right.
I was checking on my game. Wrecking ball.
Wreck me.
Wreck me.
Donald Trump also went on Don Imus yesterday, and to the point about bringing people in, he was asked if he regrets the comment he made about John McCain. This is being brought back up. Of course it will. Everything that happened in the primary, by the way, we'll get to talk about again, because everything that happened in the primary between Hillary Clinton and Bernie Sanders and about Hillary Clinton will be brought back up in the general. And the same goes for Donald Trump.
Oh, are we going to have to hear about Megyn Kelly again then?
Oh, yes. Well, we're going to hear about her on Tuesday night when they sit down, when she interviews him on Tuesday night. And so that'll be another détente. An instance of détente and bring people in. As Randy said, I'm not sure this quite gets the job done with McCain, although it's not as iconoclastic as Trump has been on the topic before.
Iconoclastic, I like that. Common spelling?
Yeah.
Iconoclastic?
Right, just like it sounds.
Thanks.
So Imus talking to Trump about his McCain comments.
Well, I've actually done that, Don, and I've, frankly, I like John McCain, and John McCain is a hero. Also heroes are people that are, whether they get caught or don't get caught, they're all heroes as far as I'm concerned. And that's the way it should be. And
so do you regret saying that?
I don't, I like not to regret anything. I mean, you do things and you say things, and what I said, frankly, is what I said. And, some people like what I said, if you want to know the truth. I mean, there are many people that like what I said. After I said that, my poll numbers went up 7 points. I mean,
no, I understand all that, but
do you understand that? I mean, some people liked what I said, but I like John McCain. In my eyes, John McCain is a hero. I mean, John McCain's a good guy.
That's better.
He is not capable of saying I'm wrong.
It's better.
Or I regret. Or come and just say it.
It's a step-by-step process.
You want somebody stubborn like that to be your next president?
I just want somebody that just full stop after the first 15 seconds of the answer. He would be so much better served if he could just stop himself at the substance of what needs to be put across, which is John McCain's a hero. Everybody who serves POW, captured or not captured, obviously is a hero. Why this even needs to be a discussion, because it's so obvious, is, on Trump. He's the one who turned something as ridiculous as this conversation into an issue. And if he could just stop after 15 seconds, it wouldn't be an issue anymore.
Tremendous. Connect with Dan and Amy on the AM 560 The Answer mobile app. Just text the word app to 64636 to download the app today.
Weather forecast for today, we're going to have some sun returning. That'll be nice. We'll have a shower briefly this morning, then turning breezy by the afternoon with that sunshine mix, a high of 72 degrees. Tomorrow, Friday, some sun, then clouds and breezy, rain late in the afternoon or early in the evening, but cooler, a high of 66 degrees. Any trouble on the roadways? Here's Jim Telemonte.
Amy, right now things look good on the Edens and the Kennedy. Inbound Eisenhower, a little slow. Wolf to 25th. It's 31 minutes. Thorndale to downtown. Outbound still good. Northbound I-55. Stop and go. Joliet Road to 355. It's a crash on the right shoulder. And delays start up again around Harlem. It's 40 minutes. 355 to Lakeshore Drive. Outbound fine at 34. Ryan already 25 minutes. 95th to downtown. I-57. Bishop Ford both 25 minutes from I-80 to the merge. Things look good at O'Hare and Midway despite the earlier storms. We're not seeing the delays like we had yesterday. I'm Jim Talamonte in the Guardian Security Services Traffic Center.
Business owners, I want you to stop and think about the one part of your organization that you simply cannot live without. What comes to mind? Your employees, your location, your customers? How about your technology? Let's face it, everything rests on your network running smoothly and efficiently. That's where Turnkey IT comes in. They understand the value of your network and the critical role it plays in your company. They'll keep your network up and running and resolve any problems so you can focus on the important things. Turnkey IT's team of professionals will respond to you quickly. They won't roll their eyes when you ask some questions or try to dazzle you with confusing technical jargon. This spring, Turnkey IT is offering a free security audit. So even if you have an IT guy, this free security audit will help you understand if they're keeping your data safe from viruses and hackers. So simply just visit turnkey.pro today to schedule your free security audit and mention that I sent you. It's Amy. Turnkey.pro. Go to turnkey.pro.
It's true, you can't take it with you, but you can make sure what you don't take with you goes to the ones you love, not the government. And you can preserve a legacy by doing one of the most important things possible for your children and grandchildren. It's critical to realize that if you don't have an estate plan, everything you own, including your house, cars, and investments, could be tied up in courts for a year or more. It could cost your estate tens of thousands of dollars in probate and legal fees, plus double government taxation. Avoid this by learning estate planning essentials. Tom Fortino of the Alpha Wealth Group and host of the Alpha Wealth Hour, heard Saturdays on AM 560, is hosting a free estate planning workshop on Saturday, May 14th in Oak Brook Terrace. Tom's a featured expert on Fox Business, Fortune, and Money Magazine. To reserve your seat for this free estate planning workshop, call the Alpha Wealth Group today at 630-873-6326. That's 630-873-6326. 630-873-6326. Investment advisory services offered through Retirement Wealth Advisors, Inc.
CertaPro painters are here for every stage of your life, from moving into a new home, creating the ideal nursery, to reinventing your living space. CertaPro painting experts create the perfect setting while you do life. They came to our home and brightened our walls and our moods so very quiet they wouldn't wake a baby. But the best part? They clean up after themselves so you don't have to do it. And now that spring is here, it is the perfect time to spruce up your home's exterior. Take a look at your home. Do you see chipping, peeling, fading? Well, leave it to CertaPro painting experts to refresh, renew, and protect your biggest investment, your home. Now is the time to call for your free estimate and schedule your exterior painting project. 1-800-GO-CERTA, 1-800-GOCERTA. That's CERTA with the C. Or visit CertaPro.com today. CertaPro.com. CertaPro Painters, we do painting, you do life. Each CertaPro Painters business is independently owned and operated.
AM 560, The Answer.
Dan and Amy, so just a programming note. I sat down and did a long interview with our friend Dean Angelo Sr., president of Chicago FOP, and it's at upstream-ideas.com. You want to check this out. He says, among other things, he has never seen the level of disrespect police face in his 36-year career in law enforcement. He talked about the report from Rahm and his task force. He talked about the DOJ investigation. He talked about the Laquan McDonald shooting and his decision to bring Officer Van Dyke on to FOP while he awaits trial. It was a wide-ranging conversation, during which, among other things, he predicted, because of the climate right now, that Chicago is going to, quote-unquote, light up this summer with violence. So really... It's
up there now?
Upstream-ideas.com interview with Dean Angelo Sr., the president of Chicago FOP, your Chicago resident, frankly, politician, policymaker, someone concerned about the city. It's worth giving that a look.
You're listening to Chicago's Morning Answer with Dan Proft and Amy Jacobson on AM 560. The Answer.
Hi, I'm Lex Howard, CEO of Balance of Nature. Statistics show that most people will listen to this commercial 7 times before they finally purchase Balance of Nature. Don't be a statistic. Take action to determine your future.
Well, I'm pretty stupid. I should have ordered it 15 years ago. Best thing I ever got in my... It's the most effective product that I've ever bought in my life. Yeah, I tell everyone to get it, but everyone gives you a wise answer. Oh, just eat good food. Well, how are you going to eat 15 fruits and whatever? Unless you lived on a farm.
I'm doing well. I definitely have more energy, and there's a big improvement.
Begin giving your body the fruits and vegetables it needs every day. Accept and complete Dr. Howard's 120-day health challenge to earn a free month supply of Balance of Nature. Call 1-800-2468-751. That's 1-800-2468-751. Or go online to balanceofnature.com. Use promo code CHICAGO.
On AM 560 The Answer, we talk about the important issues that affect your world. Things like the economy, education, and foreign policy. There's always so much going on in the news that we don't always have the time to focus in and talk about the big ideas behind the important issues. Enter Upstream Ideas online at upstream-ideas.com. Upstream Ideas, in partnership with the Illinois Policy Institute, provides the kind of information that informs the policy discussions happening here on AM 560. At Upstream Ideas, you'll broaden the debate, move beyond partisan assumptions, and challenge accepted beliefs. Upstream Ideas goes against the current and thinks upstream. Go online now at upstream-ideas.com. That's upstream-ideas.com. You'll be armed with new information and fresh perspectives to help encourage you to make the state of Illinois and the United States of America a bit freer, a bit more just, and a bit more civilized. Upstream-ideas.com.
Hey, sorry I'm late. I'm the chair for the company picnic committee, and I'm overwhelmed with finding the perfect catering partner.
Don't be freaked out by that. Tasty Catering has done our company picnic every year for the last 5 years. I actually went to Tasty Catering's kitchen first to taste the food. They serve juicy burgers right from the grill, fresh salads, awesome sides, and fun foods for the kids. Last year, we even had delicious brisket and an entire pig roast.
Can they handle all the details? There's not much time to plan.
Planning was even easier. Tasty Catering handled every detail, from serving pieces to inflatables for the kids, the DJ, and of course, the bar area.
That's exactly what we're looking for.
Just go to tastycatering.com. The pricing was right, and our CFO signed off on the contract immediately.
The best company picnics start at tastycatering.com. View picnic menus and locations, entertainment options, and more. That's tastycatering.com.
Coming up on Chicago's Morning Answer.
First, Ben Rhodes cops to manipulating the media. Now, Obama's speechwriters have a good yuck with Charlie Rose over lying to the American people. That's at 6:06.
But first, into the newsroom we go. Here is Mike Scott.
Amy and Dan, at least 4 injured in a shooting on Chicago's South Side. A man pleads guilty to the shooting of a Chicago police officer. And some sun returns in the forecast today. WIND Chicago News Time, 6 o'clock.
Fox News Radio, I'm Lisa Brady. They want to get to know each other. That's what the House Speaker and the presumptive GOP nominee are saying, downplaying expectations for their big meeting today in Washington, where Fox News Radio's Rachel Sutherland is live.
Lisa, House Speaker Paul Ryan, who said he's not ready to offer an endorsement, says he really doesn't know Donald Trump.
I met him once in person in 2012. We had a very good conversation in March on the phone.
Trump meeting with Ryan and several other GOP heavy hitters.
He's a very good man. He wants what's good for the party, and I think we're going to have a very positive result.
Some congressional Republicans say they'd like to see Ryan come around to supporting Trump sooner rather than later, adding they can't afford to lose the White House to Hillary Clinton. Lisa.
Rachel, just a few months before the Rio Olympics, the president of Brazil is impeached in a corruption scandal. The vote in Brazil's Senate suspends President Dilma Rousseff and sets up a trial, putting the vice president in charge in the meantime. Is ISIS getting desperate?
As the enemy loses more and more terrain, they resort to some of these desperate acts.
The commander of Allied forces in Iraq, Air Force Major General Gary Volsky, after the deadliest day of attacks in Baghdad this year. At least 93 killed in triple suicide bombings yesterday. And today, twin bombings at a police station in a Baghdad suburb, killing at least 5 officers. More than 1,000 potential cases of homegrown terrorists currently on the FBI's radar in the U.S. FBI Chief James Comey saying most are linked to ISIS, though he also insists the group group has lost some power. The gun used to kill Florida teenager Trayvon Martin is for sale, put up for auction by George Zimmerman, who was acquitted of murder in Martin's death.
I thought it's time to move past the firearm. And if I sell it and it sells, I move past it.
Zimmerman says he's getting death threats. You're listening to Fox News Radio. Fair and balanced.
Cloudy and 60 degrees. 6:02 is our time on AM 560. The Answer. Good morning. I'm Mike Scott. A man suspected of killing another man and two women in Chicago's Inglewood neighborhood overnight is barricaded in a home in the city's Fernwood neighborhood at this moment. Now, police officers, SWAT team members, and ambulances have surrounded that home at West 104th and South Emerald this morning. The shooter is holed up inside, according to Chicago police, in a front bedroom. At least 4 have been shot in Chicago's Park Manor neighborhood on the city's south side. Police say the victims were approached by someone on foot late Wednesday who opened fire and then fled in a vehicle. Mayor Rahm Emanuel preparing to borrow about $600 million while his administration struggles to develop an alternative to the pension reform plan rejected by the Illinois Supreme Court. Without the new plan, Emanuel promised to bond rating agencies the cost is expected to soar if the city's credit is downgraded again, and another property tax hike is possible. Government lawyers for Democratic U.S. Representative Tammy Duckworth won a lawsuit against her dismissed. It accuses her of ethics violations while she led the Illinois Department of Veterans Affairs. A hearing in the civil complaint by 2 Veterans Home workers alleging workplace retaliation by Duckworth is scheduled for today. San Diego swept out the Cubs in a day-night doubleheader, 7-4 and 1-0. Texas beat the White Sox 6-5. Golden State back in the NBA's Western Conference Finals after a 125-121 win over Portland, while Toronto grabs a 3-2 lead, knocking off Miami last night, 99-91. News, a service of Staples with new lower prices on ink and toner and an in-stock guarantee. To ensure you always get what you need, in-stock guarantee applies to in-store selection only, out-of-stock ink and toner ordered from in-store kiosk with a $10 discount plus free shipping. Limit 1 cartridge per customer. 6:04 and a check of traffic and weather on the way next on AM 560.
Dennis Prager isn't sold on Donald Trump as a conservative.
Nobody was founded except the United States on the doctrine of limited government. And I not only don't see that as a principle in Donald Trump's campaign, I think that the government will expand its power. He will tell companies where they can move and can't move, as an example. That's pretty powerful government. Barack Obama didn't even go that far.
The Dennis Prager Show, weekdays at 11, right before Sean Hannity at 2 on AM 560. The Answer.
We've all heard commercials where they chatter about how large their inventory is, how big their discounts are. Well, this is where the zinc meets your metal. Gatto Industrial Platers on Roosevelt Road in Chicago is home to North America's largest plating line. They can handle parts up to 27 feet long, weighing up to 8,000 pounds, including a production rack and barrel zinc plating line that can process up to 300 tons of parts each and every day. But Gatto Platers can also handle zinc plating of a small box of screws and all in between, with 24 to 48-hour turnaround service and a fleet of trucks all over Chicagoland. As their owner, George, says, Gatto is big, we're good, and we're easy to work with. Learn why George says what he says at GattoPlaters.com. That's G-A-T-T-O Platers.com. Or call George at 800-290-1223. Gatto Platers, proud to sponsor AM 560's Feed the Children program. Find them online at GattoPlaters.com.
Focus. You need it to run a business, so don't let legal questions distract you. Use LegalZoom instead. Things like lease agreements and employment laws get complicated, but they're part of running a business. That's why LegalZoom built a network of independent attorneys in 48 states. You can rely on them for the legal details without paying by the hour, since LegalZoom isn't a law firm. So focus on growing your business and use LegalZoom for the legal stuff. LegalZoom. Legal help is here.
It's the Ready to Ride sales event and time to gear up for your ultimate adventure. Enjoy summertime fun on a Can-Am ATV, side-by-side, Can-Am Spyder, or Sea-Doo watercraft. Hurry in by May 31st and save up to $2,500 on select 2015 models. Plus, get great financing. Get ready to ride because the fun starts now.
Visit Dockside Marine in Wilmington.
Subject to credit approval. Restrictions may apply. See dealer for details. For safety and training info, contact the ATV Safety Institute.
6:06 in our Guardian Security Services Traffic Center. Here is Jim Talamonte.
Thanks, Micah. Northbound I-55 traffic is stop and go from Weber Road to 355 where there's a crash on the right shoulder. And the delays start up again around Harlem. Slow from there to Pulaski and State to King Drive. It is 41 minutes, 355 to Lakeshore Drive, outbound fine at 34. Eden's clear for now. Kennedy inbound. Got a 2-minute delay from River Road Toll to Canfield. Outbound a 3-minute delay. Foster to Sayre. John Eisenhower stop and go Wolf to 25th and heavy first to Harlem. 36 minutes. Thorndale to downtown. Outbound 30. To Ryan running 25 minutes already. 95th to downtown. I-57 25 minutes. I-80 to the Merge. Bishop Ford 30. Traffic is a service of GoToMeeting. Be a meeting MVP. GoToMeeting is the online meeting tool that lets you easily collaborate and present from anywhere with one click, so you always put on your best performance. Step up your meeting game and start your free trial at GoToMeeting.com. Traffic answers when you need them most. I'm Jim Talamonte on AM 560, The Answer.
Chicago's Morning Answer continues next. Your official Chicagoland weather forecast. From the AirComfort.com Weather Center, 80 years of quality mechanical solutions for your business. Here is our meteorologist, Kevin Snyder.
Morning fog weather shower the area early, then breaks of sun and breezy for the afternoon, high 72. Mainly clear and breezy tonight, low 49. Turning cloudy tomorrow, still breezy, periods of rain late in the day, high 66. I'm Kevin Snyder on AM 560. The Answer.
Cloudy and 60 at O'Hare. Next news coming up at 6:30. And Chicago's Morning Answer with Dan and Amy continues next on AM 560, The Answer.
This hourly segment is brought to you by MyPainChicago.com. World-class treatment for chronic pain. Go to MyPainChicago.com.
Good morning. Welcome to your Thursday morning briefing. Here's what you need to know to start your day.
Number one, I have a lot of respect for Paul, and I think we're going to have a very good meeting, I hope.
We just need to get to know each other, and we, as a leadership team, are enjoying the fact that we have a chance to meet with him.
The things I'm the most proud of were the more serious speeches, I think. Healthcare.
Lovett wrote the line about, if you like your insurance, you can keep it.
How dare you?
This is Chicago's Morning Answer with Dan Proft and Amy Jacobson on AM 560. The Answer.
Good morning, Dan and Amy. Is the media influential? Yes. Yes, it is. Is the media left? Yes. Yes, it is. And is the media a willing accomplice of leftist politicians? Yes, it is. And we know that not because some crazy right-winger like me is saying it, because Obama administration officials are saying it in great detail. Thank you. Ben Rhodes has the piece over the weekend in New York Magazine, which has made all the rounds, in which he said, I've quoted this before, but it bears repeating, the average reporter we talk to is 27 years old, and their only reporting experience consists of being around political campaigns. They literally know nothing. This was the setup to Ben Rhodes telling very proudly the New York Times Magazine reporter Samuels how he created this echo chamber and rewrote American foreign policy in the Middle East with the help of the Washington Press Corps. He said, we created an echo chamber. And when asked to explain the freshly minted experts that they promulgated for the Washington Press Corps to cheerlead for the Iranian surrender deal, give Iran a glide path to nuclear weapons, they were saying things that validated what we had given them to say. Now, this is a little additional fun point. The media, of course, because their integrity is so important to them. It is to some. It is to some. But the Washington Press Corps as a monolith. Two reporters were mentioned in Ben Rhodes' interview. Jeff Goldberg from Atlantic and Laura Rosen. They were outraged about how they were characterized by Rhodes as helping to retail the Iranian nuclear deal. They told the Huffington Post's Michael Calderon that the magazine story, New York Times Magazine story on Rhodes, was quote-unquote defamatory.
Oh, no.
Oh, look who's upset.
It didn't fit their narrative. It made them look bad.
Correct.
It told the truth.
Jeff Goldberg at The Atlantic said, this is an unsupported defamatory allegation that somehow slipped into the New York Times Magazine by a guy, it should be pointed out, who has had a grudge against me for several years. Oh, now we're just learning about grudges. That's got to explain it. So, just think about this, for example, for a second. Jeff Goldberg, who has written, really been like a scrivener for the Obama policy agenda, particularly foreign policy agenda, and the result of that, he's had a couple of interviews with President Obama for The Atlantic. But think about this. Rhodes brags about how he manipulated the press into providing coverage. And how hard is that when you all have the same objective? Then Goldberg and Rosen cry foul, saying that to characterize these reporters, us, as being manipulated into their powder puff coverage is quote unquote defamatory. So they're arguing that they were not manipulated into the powder puff coverage by Rhodes, but that they would have written all of it that way without Rhodes. So the point is, what difference does it make?
Right, yeah.
They're in the tank. They just don't want everybody to know they're in the tank. It's just fascinating. So we've got the whole Rhodes story with respect to specifically the Iranian nuclear deal. Then we have the story we profiled yesterday where the State Department edits out James Rosen from history. James Rosen asks about bilateral talks between Iran and the Obama administration, the two regimes, if you will, in 2013, before this was public knowledge. And Jen Psaki.
Cagney or Lacey? No, she's Lacey.
Lacey.
Cagney is the one with the Harf.
Marie Harf.
Marie Harf
right,
with
yes,
the glasses.
Right. So, yes, Lacey. Jen Psaki's Lacey, right?
How old are those two young ladies?
Yeah, a couple of
20s? They're 20s?
Chicks on the scene. I don't know, 30s?
Maybe.
40s? I don't know. I don't know.
A lot about world policy.
Well,
okay,
so Rosen puts the question in a State Department briefing to Jen Psaki, a.k.a. Lacey, and she talks about how, sometimes you need to manipulate the press, words to that effect. Rosen, after the Ben Rhodes piece appears in the New York Times Magazine this weekend, goes back to look at the exchange between him and Psaki to refresh his recollection of what was said at the time and where Rosen was ahead of the learning curve, and comes to find that exchange has been deleted from the video of that press conference that was on the State Department channel, as well as the State Department website. There's a white flash replacing where that exchange between him and Psaki had occurred. Now, we got this today.
Well, it sounds like we live in a communist country if the government's controlling the media and, decides what can be kept and what can be just put on the cutting room floor.
Why don't we just
make it disappear?
Why don't we just call it the Ministry of Propaganda? Why don't we just be transparent about it, honest with the American people? Look, and when Ben Rhodes and Jen Psaki and now you're about to hear Obama's speechwriters, Jon Favreau, no relation to the actor.
Are you sure?
Yeah.
Okay.
And John Lovett, not Lovett.
Not related. Yeah, I know.
Not related to Lovett because it's a different last name.
I was just looking at Jon Favreau from Swingers and
no, not
that food truck movie.
Same name. Yeah, that was good. That chef movie, that was good. So these two.
Because he writes in Hollywood now.
Oh yeah. Well,
Jon Favreau.
And if they wash out of politics, they wash out of the administration, they don't become great novelists, they don't turn into the next Aaron Sorkin or Scott Turow, then they can always get jobs at the People's Republic of North Korea Department of Propaganda.
Why not?
Or maybe because of the close relationship, the Iranian Ministry of Propaganda that used to flack for Ahmadinejad so effectively.
Putting government spins on the truth to make them look good. Yeah,
government spins? They're just like removing and inserting things wholesale. This is well beyond spin.
But this one is the most egregious of them all.
So Favreau and Lovett are on with Charlie Rose on his PBS interview show. And, getting into the, which speeches were the most fun to write and the wordsmithing and the crafting, because these two dinks are so interesting, aren't they? And listen to this little exchange as Lovett was starting to tell Charlie Rose which part of speechifying or speech writing he liked the most.
I was very... The joke speech is the most fun part of this, but the things I'm the most proud of were the more serious speeches, I think. Healthcare, economic speeches, and I think...
Lovett wrote the line about, if you like your insurance, you can keep it.
How dare you? Huge impact. And you know what? It's still true. No. Yeah. But,
oh!
You've got to be...
That's a good one.
Kidding me. Well,
hilarious.
Do they have any idea how many people who bought health insurance on the exchanges in Illinois who were battling cancer had their insurance ripped from them during their cancer treatments at University of Chicago, Northwestern, and at Rush?
How dare
people
you?
Had tears in their eyes, crying. I saw it with my own eyes. I couldn't believe it. And the nurses said, this is a bad day because they're not accepting. Blue Cross Blue Shield of Illinois is not accepting cancer patients anymore, and these are people we've worked with for 5 years now.
That's
and
a
now
good
they have to
one.
go somewhere else.
No, that's
and where
funny.
are they going to go? It's the three major hospitals in Chicago. That's such a hoot. I hope those people watch that. And if they voted for Obama, they should be ashamed of themselves.
Oh man, that is a knee slapper. That's a funny story you tell too. I mean, it's almost as funny as the line.
that makes me sick.
Yeah, isn't that great? Does anybody else want to continue to stand by President Obama and Obamacare and the purposeful lies that were told? It was bad intentions from the beginning, wasn't it?
This just proves that he wasn't ready to be president, and he didn't surround himself with smart people, because that's the way he could compensate for a lack of knowledge about the office.
No, he surrounded himself with little conniving simps like Jen Psaki and Marie Harf and Ben Rhodes and these, two effete goofs, Favreau and Lovett, were making out on Charlie Rose's show. And it's all fun and games. They're the smartest guys and gals in the room, aren't they?
And they're blessed because they probably, have a good health insurance plan. And they're not going through cancer right now.
And how do you feel? How do you feel about being scammed? For those that, believed it, that always want to believe that everybody has good intentions, particularly in politics, which is just kind of a shocking perspective, considering everything we know to be true about what politicians on both sides have done. It's just shocking that we're not a little bit more cynical when you have aphorisms that are popularized by the propaganda ministry of this regime in particular. How's it feel to be scammed over and over again, and they're laughing at you? They think, the whole people who thinks they're smarter than one another, at least some liberals like Nicholas Kristof in the New York Times are coming to cop to it. These people inside the Beltway and in those bubbles think they are smarter than you. It's just what Jonathan Gruber said. You're dumb, and we can sell you anything, and we can ramrod down your throats anything. And not only will you take it, you'll turn around and repeat it. That's how gullible you are, American people. And unfortunately, you know what? To some extent, they were right.
I sincerely apologize for conjecturing with the tone of expertise and for doing so in such a disparaging fashion. It's never appropriate to make oneself seem more important or smarter by demeaning others. I knew better. I know better. I'm embarrassed and I'm sorry.
This is the morning show more Chicago radio listeners are choosing. This is Chicago's Morning Answer on AM 560. The Answer.
Up next, FBI director gives us a hint as to when or if Hillary may be indicted. But first, here's your forecast. Some sun returning today. We'll have a brief shower, then turning breezy by this afternoon, a high of 72 degrees. Tonight, clear to partly cloudy. And tomorrow, Friday, some sun, clouds, breezy, rain in the late afternoon or early evening, and a high of 66 degrees. Let's get the latest on the roadways. Here's Jim Telemonte.
Thanks, Amy. At O'Hare, once again, getting reports of really long lines at the TSA checkpoints. If you're heading to fly out, be sure to allow plenty of extra time. There's some high water in West Chicago, Roosevelt at Pearl. And Lake Bluff, westbound 176 is closed, 43 to Adelphia with a crash. The Edens is 21 minutes, Lake Cook to Montrose, outbound 19. The Kennedy, 26 minutes, O'Hare to downtown, outbound 28. The Eisenhower, now 46 minutes, Thorndale to the post office, outbound 32. Northbound I-55 delays start at Weber. There's a crash at 355 on the right side, and it's slow again starting around First Avenue. 50 minutes, 355 to Lakeshore Drive. The Ryan is 27 minutes, 95th to downtown. The northbound Tri-State heavy at 290. The Reagan toll is slow Roosevelt to the Eisenhower. I'm Jim Talamonte of the Guardian Security Services Traffic Center.
Guys, when it comes to your health, do you know your numbers? Now, you might know your blood pressure and cholesterol, but do you know your testosterone number? I know my number, and that's because Low T Center makes it easy. You walk in, take a simple blood test, and because their lab is on site, you'll know your results within minutes. If you've noticed a decline in energy, stamina, or libido, you may have low testosterone. Low testosterone makes you feel tired and grumpy. It can also raise your cholesterol and cause weight gain. Low T Center's experienced medical staff will educate you on the benefits and risks of testosterone replacement. At Low T Center, services are covered by most health insurance companies, and they have flexible hours for your convenience. So do yourself a favor and call 630-409-4305. Tell them Dan Prof sent you. That's me. That number again, 630-409-4305, or go to lowtcenter.com.
Special announcement. The Big Home Remodeling Expo, a free home show that's open to the public, is coming to the DuPage County Fairgrounds, May 21st and 22nd. If you're looking to remodel your kitchen, bathroom, basement, or maybe get a new roof, flooring, windows, or siding, then this is the event for you. At this two-day expo, you'll meet local and national contractors displaying their products and services, get new ideas, set up estimates, and talk directly with contractors, many of which are offering huge discounts. Maybe you need a new furnace, state-of-the-art generator, or just a handyman. You'll find everything you need under one roof. Increase the value of your home and bring your friends and family. Not only will you get a free gift at the door, but come to the show between 10 a.m. and noon on Saturday, May 21st for a chance to win a key that could start a brand new Harley-Davidson. Remember, the DuPage County Home Remodeling Expo, May 21st and 22nd at the Fairgrounds in Wheaton. Get more information at homeshowevent.com. That's homeshowevent.com.
If medications haven't helped you treat your depression, why haven't you tried TMS therapy offered by Theramind? Now there is a way to successfully treat your depression without the need for meds and their harmful side effects. TMS therapy is covered by most insurance, including Blue Cross Blue Shield of Illinois and Medicare. Don't continue to suffer needlessly. Call Theramind. Don't wait. Call Theramind now. 847-562-5868. The single greatest advancement to date in treating depression is TMS. It's an FDA-cleared, non-drug, safe, and effective treatment. TMS has already changed the lives of over 50,000 patients. Why not you? Visit tmsmind.com. Depression can be beaten, and without drugs. Call Theramind today, 847-562-5868, or get more info at tmsmind.com. That's Theramind at 847-562-5868, or online at tmsmind.com.
Chicago's Morning Answer with Dan and Amy continues right now. And make sure to join me, Sean Hannity, this afternoon starting at 2, right here on AM 560, The Answer.
Good morning, Dan and Amy. So FBI Director Jim Comey said yesterday he feels, quote-unquote, pressure to complete the federal investigation into Hillary Clinton's private email server competently and quickly, and he should. He should feel pressure. Because this needs to get done.
He says he's not going to be rushed to finish the email probe before the general election. And that, to me, seemed like, a loss. I mean, that doesn't mean that it won't happen, but...
Yeah, of course he's not going to give a timeline. But look, you've had, as we've talked to many guests on this topic, 150 agents on this case. I know there's a lot of emails to pour through. I know there's a lot of witnesses to talk to. They were talking to Cheryl Mills just the other day, earlier this week.
Uma Abedin was interviewed by them.
It seems to me it's still a bit unclear whether or not they're actually going to interview Hillary Clinton or not.
Do you think they're dragging their heels on this on purpose? Because if you have 150 plus agents working on this, you think something would be done already that we'd know by now. And has Sid Blumenthal been, he won't come clean and say whether or not he's been interviewed by the FBI, right?
Well, Sid Blumenthal was on CNN yesterday. He'll come clean with Alyssa Camerata. Is that her name?
Candiata?
No. Allison Camerata. That's her name, I think. Yeah, Allison Camerata.
I'll just call her Allison C.
Allie C.
Allie C.
AC.
You know me. Yeah, Allie C. Thank you. Mm-hmm.
You're down with Allie C.
I'm one of the cool kids, right?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Sure. But what did Sid say? This is interesting.
Whispering Sid, he's got some inside information into the FBI investigation, so he seems to indicate.
I'm very confident that that will not happen.
How do you know?
My understanding is that this is a security review. It's certainly not a criminal investigation.
But it is an investigation.
It's an inquiry into whether or not anyone intentionally put classified information where it shouldn't be. And my understanding is that they will conclude, and the Department of Justice will issue a statement at the end, that was not the case. And then all those who were involved in this kind of political hysteria will have to unravel it.
Political hysteria, Dan.
I've got a question. Who do you think is more of an effete, insufferable little prig? Sid Blumenthal or Obama's speechwriters John Lovett and John Favreau? Because it's a close call. I mean,
that's a tough one, Dan.
You listen to these little...
well, they're liberal elitists. They think that they're above the law.
They're such dinks.
But why won't he even answer whether or not he's been questioned by the FBI?
By the way...
Probably because he's been questioned by the FBI.
By the way, he kept saying it's an inquiry.
No, security review. That's the name of your band, right? Security Review?
Comey was asked about that. Not my band. He was asked about that phrase that Clintonistas keep using. And Comey said he wasn't familiar with the term security inquiry. Comey said he considers the work agents are doing to be an investigation.
A criminal investigation, or he just said an investigation?
Well, he said an investigation because, as Jim Comey said, tongue-in-cheek, it's in our name. The Federal Bureau of Investigations. So that's what we do.
That's the I for FBI.
We do investigations.
Investigations.
Yeah.
Now I figured it out.
150 agents, FBI agents, devoted to a security inquiry.
Are they interviewing Guccifer? Well, the Romanian who hacked into her system?
Jim Comey's not talking to me. So,
Jim Comey's not talking to anybody.
The fact they extradited him to sit in a federal prison in Virginia is interesting. But
he's not here to play tiddlywinks.
Catherine Herridge knows more about it than I do. And Catherine Herridge from Fox News Channel, she had the interview with Guccifer where he talks about how he broke into Hillary's server.
And how easy it was.
Right, and what information he saw.
He sat down with Cynthia McFadden from NBC News, and apparently he was supposed to be getting paid for that interview, by the way, and they didn't pay up. But he told her the same thing. He said, I broke into the Bush's emails. I can break in anybody's email. I can break into yours. Not only that, but I broke into Hillary Clinton's server, which was big.
In other tragic Clinton news.
What now, Dan?
Mark Mezvinsky, he's Chelsea Clinton's husband.
Yeah, that's their son-in-law.
Yes, and he's the wait. I'm sorry. Who's the kid of a convicted felon? Is that Chelsea or Mark Mezvinsky?
Mark Mezvinsky's dad, wasn't his dad a congressman?
His dad's a convicted felon, and
right.
Mark Mezvinsky is the one whose dad is a convicted felon, and Chelsea Clinton's the one whose mom should be. I got it. I just get confused. It's hard to follow these crime families. So he had an investment fund, a hedge fund.
Chelsea's husband?
Mark? Yeah.
Okay.
Eagle Vale Hellenic Opportunity. Raised about $25 million. Yeah, looks like he's going to have to shut that fund down. Raised $25 million, made a bet on the Greek economy to recover because the Greeks were going to take the necessary steps to turn their economy around.
Oh, yeah, right. Like cut their pensions. And
fund lost about 40% of its value by 2015. Today, it's lost 90% of the investors' money, and he's going to have to shut it down. So more tragedy befalling the Clinton Inc. operation.
It's true.
Listen to Dan and Amy on your smartphone. Download the AM 560 mobile app today at 560theanswer.com/mobile.
Household
Townstone Financial is synonymous with great rates, low closing costs, and phenomenal service to the thousands who have completed purchases and refinances with us since 2002. Hi, my name is Barry Sterner, owner of Townstone Financial. Let's hear from Jim, who just completed a no-cost refinance with Townstone Financial.
I would recommend Townstone to anybody, and I do. I always knew where we were. I knew the dates. I knew when I had to have information. There was no fire drills. The overall experience was, off the charts. I've not experienced, there's very few companies that I've encountered that really deliver that customer experience, and that's what sets you guys apart, hands down.
Remember, nobody values your business more than Townstone Financial, and I'm always available to answer your questions. Call me now, Barry Sterner, at 312-896-2111. That's 312-896-2111, or go to townstone.com. That's TOWNSTONE.com.
Townstone Financials, Indiana, Michigan, Wisconsin, Florida, Illinois, mortgage licensee 6629 and NMLS 136639, equal housing lender.
The single most important factor in hiring a contractor is trust. Dependable Construction and its founder, Joe Baran, built their business over 3 decades by being trustworthy. Tuck pointing, brick and roofing, Joe's specialties. Joe started as a laborer and progressed to an expert tuck pointer and bricklayer. In addition to masonry and roofing, Joe and Dependable Construction have grown to become a full-service Angie's List and Better Business Bureau award-winning contractor. For brick, masonry, and roofing on residential, commercial, or industrial projects to any other type of remodeling or construction, you'll deal directly with owner Joe Baran. Call Joe Baran at Dependable Construction and AM560 Feed the Children Business Benefactor. Mention AM560 and receive a 10% discount on most jobs. Call 773-244-1091. That number, 773-244-1091. Or you can visit Joe Baran online at tuckpointchicago.net or call 773-244-1091.
Coming up on Chicago's Morning Answer.
We'll look at the poll numbers with a pollster from Rasmussen Reports at 6:36.
And later, why George Zimmerman says he needs to sell the weapon that was used to kill Trayvon Martin. But first, into the newsroom we go. Here is Mike Scott.
Amy and Dan, a man suspected of killing another man, and 2 women in Chicago's Englewood neighborhood overnight. It's barricaded in a home in the city's Fernwood neighborhood. It's happening right now at West 104th and South Emerald this morning. Donald Trump is meeting today with House Speaker Paul Ryan and other top GOP officials who are leery of that meeting. Trump believes it could be a good one.
I think it'll go well. Paul is a good person. I don't know Paul well, and I think it's part of the meeting. We have to get to know. Don't forget, he knew everybody else because they're governors, they're senators. I am a businessman.
Trump on Fox News. Brazilian President Dilma Rousseff being impeached and will face trial before the nation's Senate. She's now suspended from office for up to 180 days until that trial is finished. A strike by Verizon workers on the East Coast getting nasty this morning. Verizon says picketers have cut cable and phone lines and are badgering replacement technicians. Union leaders blame untrained workers for the severed lines. You may recall those workers have been on strike since last month. Target's chairman and CEO Brian Cornell says he will stand by the company's bathroom policy. Appearing on CNBC's Squawk Box yesterday, he said the company's policy to allow transgendered people to use the bathroom of their choice is in line with Target's history of embracing diversity. Target has faced a great deal of backlash, both financially and otherwise, since announcing that policy. And you may have seen this story. Hyperloop One has reached a milestone in its effort to create a high-speed pod transportation system. Hyperloop One CEO Rob Lloyd says it reminds him of something you do at an amusement park.
Technology that we could all relate to that uses some of these principles is a roller coaster. And actually, I think by imagining that a roller coaster has very rapid propulsion, this is a magnitude larger than that.
Officials with the Elon Musk-backed firm successfully tested the drivetrain system at its North Las Vegas facility yesterday. They hope to have a pod system set up between San Francisco and Los Angeles within a few years. At least 4 have been shot in Chicago's Park Manor neighborhood on the city's south side. Police spokesman Officer Thomas Sweeney tells us the victims were approached by someone on foot late Wednesday, and that person opened fire and then fled in another vehicle. Cook County Clerk Dorothy Brown surrounded by supporters at the county board meeting yesterday where a critical resolution was dropped before a vote could be taken. Brown won renomination in spite of a continuing federal investigation of her office. But Republican Commissioner Peter Silvestri had sponsored a resolution seeking to cut her power and make the office an appointed position, but not for 4 years. Silvestri then dropped that resolution after pressure from fellow commissioners. San Diego took a pair from the Cubs. Texas beat the White Sox. The news a service of LifeLock. Grabbing coffee or breakfast this morning? If you swipe your card, you leave a trail of identity behind. Digital information thieves can use to steal your identity. Ever hear of LifeLock? Their U.S.-based team of specialists help resolve identity problems. Go to LifeLock.com now. Use promo code RISK to save 10%. 6:36 and a check of traffic and weather on the way next on AM 560.
Sean Hannity can read between the lines.
There is a strategy that has emerged among all of these prominent Republicans that they want to bring in a white knight candidate, an outsider. They want another person. And you want to know why? Because if you're a Cruz supporter, they think you're stupid. If you're a Trump supporter, they think you're stupid.
The Sean Hannity Show. Afternoons at 2, right before Joe Walsh at 5 on AM 560. The Answer.
Tea times, golf outings, driving range, golf academy, brunch, dinner, weddings, banquets, receptions. Find and do it all at the Bolingbrook Golf Club. Info online at BolingbrookGolfClub.com.
I've been very happy with Balance of Nature. You know what the funny thing is? Even when I'm tired, I feel better than I have in so long. I really haven't gotten colds. It's just been great. I've been very, very pleased. More energy. I think it really works. I really do.
Working out, losing weight, and even in the best of times, I can't eat that many vegetables, so it's nice to know I'm getting them.
My husband got a cold, but I didn't. So, hooray! Thank God for Balance of Nature.
It's time you had a Balance of Nature experience in your own life. Call now. Accept and complete Dr. Howard's 120-day challenge to earn a free month supply of Balance of Nature. Call 1-800-2468-751. That's 1-800-2468-751 to begin your road to better health. Or go online to balanceofnature.com. Use promo code CHICAGO.
In our Guardian Security Services Traffic Center, the latest now with Jim Talamonte.
Thanks, Mike. On the inbound Edens at Foster, there's a crash reported. Delay start at Dempster. It's 30 minutes. Lake Hook to Montrose, outbound 25. The Kennedy, 28 minutes. O'Hare to downtown, outbound 32. The Eisenhower is now 48 minutes. Thorndale to the post office, outbound 37. Northbound I-55 delays start at Weber after a crash at 355, and it's bottled up LaGrange Road to Kedzie. It's 1 hour from 355 to Lakeshore Drive, outbound 37 minutes. Ryan, 30 minutes, 95th to downtown. I-57, 26 minutes. I-80 to the merge. Bishop Ford, 40. Tri-State southbound, the exit to Gulf Road is closed due to a car fire. Northbound delays are 95th to 87th from the Stevenson to the Hinsdale Oasis and Roosevelt to North Avenue. Traffic is a service of CiCi's Pizza. Ready for an adventure and flavor? CiCi's brings 3 new flatbread pizzas to the unlimited buffet. Try the new spinach Alfredo, chicken bacon club, and honey barbecue chicken. More flavor to explore for the same great value. Just $5 and change. Only at CiCi's. Better believe it. Traffic answers when you need them most. I'm Jim Talamonte. AM 560, The Answer.
Chicago's Morning Answer continues next. Your official Chicagoland weather forecast. Sun returns later this afternoon, turning breezy as well. High 72. 60 at O'Hare. Next news at 7. And Chicago's Morning Answer with Dan and Amy continues next on AM 560, The Answer.
This hourly segment is brought to you by Turnkey IT, giving you the freedom to focus on your business while they handle the technical stuff. Turnkey IT.
You want more than just the headlines? Find out what's going on and what it means with me, Dennis Prager, this morning at 11, right here on AM 560, The Answer.
Naughty by Nature was your nickname in high school, wasn't it?
Oh, I love this song, yes.
Dan and Amy, and so talking a little bit about polling, because not so much that it means a whole lot in terms of what is going to happen 6 months from now, because every pollster will tell you it's a snapshot in time. Mm-hmm. It's fleeting. A lot's going to change as this campaign unfolds. We've got the conventions. We've got all kinds of things. We've got $2 billion that's going to be spent probably on both sides. But the reason it's interesting is because of the narrative that's been extended by a lot of conservatives who are in the Never Trump camp, as well as, of course, by the left, which is that Donald Trump is going to get demolished by Hillary. And so some recent polling, both head-to-head nationally, that has essentially a statistical dead heat, as well as in the swing states, Ohio, Florida, maybe new swing states that haven't been swing states in a while, like Pennsylvania, where they're also basically dead heats, suggests that it's not so clear how this is going to shake out between Trump and Hillary. So for more on that, we're now joined by Fran Coombs. He's the managing editor of Rasmussen Reports. Fran, thanks so much for joining us. Appreciate it. Fran?
Yes.
Oh, there we go. We got you. Great. Thank you. So Nate Silver took to Twitter the other day and had a bit of a meltdown for normally reserved Nate Silver, talking about how silly it is to be obsessing and even discussing in any material way all these one-off head-to-head swing state polls between Hillary and Trump at this stage. Do you agree with him?
Well, look, Nate Silver's been wrong on virtually everything this campaign cycle. In fact, he just did a mea culpa about a week ago. So I would seriously encourage your listeners not to worry about anything that Nate Silver says. Yes, you're absolutely correct, as you said in your lead-in, that this is a snapshot in time. But the left has been writing this scenario now for months that Hillary is on her way to a massive victory, which is just absolutely false. I mean, we've got actually a complete reversal of the narrative that we've been seeing in much of the media. We've got Trump in the process of unifying his party and Hillary Clinton in the process of desperately trying to win her nomination still.
Well, what are their favorability for both Trump and for Clinton?
Obviously very low. And Amy, that's the interesting thing, because everyone talks about, Trump's got all these negatives and stuff like that. And if he was running against a popular candidate like Obama was in 2008, that would be deadly for the Republicans. But what people have to remember is that his opponent has negatives that are nearly as high as he does, and particularly in some, perhaps most importantly, in the younger voter demographic, which has been critical to Democratic electoral success in recent years.
Is there any polling that you've done that gives an indication in terms of the Never Trump crowd? I mean, I probably the Never Trump wouldn't even exist in a way that we talk about it were it not for Twitter and the hashtag campaign. But I saw some polling, I think it was Rasmussen, that had Hillary with 75% of self-identified Democrats and Donald Trump with 66% of self-identified Republicans. So both had some consolidation within their own party to do. And I wonder if you get any sense of the stickiness of the Never Trump group cohort and how big that cohort really is.
Well, as of a week and a half ago, Dan, we found that roughly a quarter of voters said that they were either going to stay at home or vote third party. Okay, but it was fairly evenly distributed between Republicans and Democrats. And it's obviously this is a difficult election cycle to predict because it's like none other that we've seen. And also, of course, the Twitter phenomenon is relatively new. So it's hard to predict how this is going to play out. But my guess is, looking at history, that most of these Never Trump people are going to gravitate to Trump's corner, because if there's one thing the Republicans dislike more than Donald Trump, it's Hillary Clinton.
Well, what about the Never Hillary Clinton people out there who are Bernie Sanders supporters? And I know Donald Trump has been trying to court them. And what percentage of those Sanders voters will vote for Donald Trump? Have you done any polling on that?
Thing. What we've seen in our surveying is that ultimately those people will come home. The most striking thing I saw recently, Amy, was a poll out of West Virginia in the last 3 or 4 days, in fact. I don't remember who did it. But it said 4 in 10 Sanders voters said in exit polls that they would vote for Trump.
Yeah, right.
So
right. Yeah, that's right. We talked about that yesterday. But now West Virginia is a bit of an outlier as a state. I mean, you can't necessarily spread that across the rest of the nation.
Oh, absolutely. No, I'm not in any way saying it's a bellwether. But that, we've been trying to get at that, but still emotions are running high. Whether or not I would have suspected most of those Democrats will come home by Election Day. But I can say the most interesting number we see, though, is younger voters. There's no question that younger voters do not like Hillary Clinton. They don't trust Hillary Clinton. They associate her with Wall Street. They think she's dishonest. And Trump has got a bit of that kind of anti-Wall Street aura thing going, too, because of his harping on bad trade deals. So the question really is, can he attract some of those younger voters? And he certainly, you're starting to see some stuff on campuses. So again, it's a wild card. I'm not trying to tell you that it's going Trump or anything, but it's something to keep an eye on.
Have you guys done any qualitatives on Trump? Because it seems to me, this is just my women's intuition on it, but it seems to me that his projection of strength is one of the qualities that perhaps he can leverage to improve his numbers among demographics that he's struggling with right now, and may explain his rise, that he projects strength.
Yeah, again, with nothing, I've got nothing that's really demonstrative in any way. What we've seen is, for example, earlier this week we asked who would handle America's allies better, who would handle America's enemies better. Clinton or Trump. Clinton got the edge among allies. They were broke pretty much even on who would handle our enemies better. That kind of surprised me because I thought people would gravitate toward Trump a bit more, thinking he would be tougher against our enemies.
Yeah, that is
we'll ask that one again.
Yeah, that is interesting. And that's a good way to kind of test it, too, yeah.
Yeah, so we'll be testing on that one again.
Hey, Fran, do voters care about what Paul Ryan thinks about Donald Trump?
No. Pretty much no. We actually tested on that. We posted it yesterday, and we found that most people did not care. I think it was like 60-some% said Ryan's endorsement was completely unimportant to their vote. 62%, in fact. 32% said it's important, and that was only somewhat important. Only 18% said Ryan's endorsement was very important to their vote. Remember, too, we pitted about a month ago, we pitted Ryan against Sanders and Clinton because, remember, he was being kind of held out as a so-called angel to counter Trump. And both Sanders and Clinton just slaughtered Ryan in a head-to-head matchup.
That's really interesting. Now, I want to go to what you were just describing, which is intensity. A lot of the survey numbers that get reported, particularly in terms of the fave-unfave, they don't drill down into the intensity. And it's an indication of how much potential move you could make. So when you talk about the unfavorability rating of Trump, the unfavorability rating of Hillary, is it soft or is it mostly very unfavorable, so it's going to be hard to move people?
I'd say I don't have the numbers right off the top of my head without looking them up, but I would say that, it's kind of the very unfavorables are stronger than you usually see. But remember, too, that it's primary season. So, again, if you're a Marco Rubio voter for example, if you're a Ted Cruz voter, you're obviously a conservative Republican, an evangelical, someone like that. There is no way in heck that you're going to vote for Hillary Clinton. And ultimately, the real question is, are you going to stay home or are you going to vote for Trump? And I think at the end of the day, unless Trump just completely melts down, and so far, even his meltdowns seem to be popular, it's just hard for me to believe that those voters are going to stay home when the alternative is Hillary Clinton.
All right, Fran Coombs, managing editor of Rasmussen Reports. Fran, thanks so much for joining us. Appreciate it.
Okay, my pleasure.
Yeah, thanks. And he joined us on our turnkey.pro answer line.
The stories you need to know to start your day. This is Chicago's Morning Answer on AM 560, The Answer.
Some sun returning. We have to get through this morning fog, though, and light rain, and we'll have a high of 72 degrees. That'll be nice. And then tomorrow, things are going to be changing. Some sunshine, then clouds and breezy. We're going to have a rain shower late in the afternoon or early in the evening. A high of 66. Any changes on those travel times? Here's Jim Telemonte with the answer.
Yes, Amy, there is a crash at Foster on the Edens Expressway. This was initially reported inbound, but it's outbound. Now, the inbound delays are from Dempster to Foster, 30 minutes late to the junction, and outbound 26 with that crash at Foster in the left lane. The Kennedy's now 40 minutes, so O'Hare to downtown, 16 from Montrose, 10 on the Express. Outbound 45 minutes, downtown to the airport. The Eisenhower, an hour. Thorndale to downtown, outbound 41 minutes. The Stevenson is getting rough. An hour and 10 minutes, 355 to Lakeshore Drive, 55 minutes from the Tri-State. Outbound 40 minutes to 355. The Ryan now is 30 minutes, 95th to downtown. Tri-State southbound at Gulf Road, 2 left lanes are blocked on the exit ramp with a car fire. That means northbound delays Dempster to Gulf. They also have northbound delays from 115th to the Hinsdale Oasis and Roosevelt to North Avenue. Jim Talamonte, the Guardian Security Services Traffic Center.
I'm Lou Dobbs. A Microsoft expert tells the United Nations terrorist accounts are honeycombing the internet. Mitsubishi Motors admits to widespread mileage fraud. Those stories next.
I'm Nick Soboleski, a SelectQuote agent with a true story that could save you hundreds of dollars a year. A woman named Linda just called. Her husband, Ray, has a $300,000 group life insurance policy, but is changing jobs and can't take it with him. Well, I impartially shopped the highly rated term life insurance companies we represent and found Ray, who is 41 and takes medication to control his cholesterol, a 10-year, $500,000 policy for under $26 a month. That's almost twice the coverage for less than half of what he had paid. If SelectQuote hasn't shopped for your life insurance, you're probably paying too much.
For your free quote, call 1-800-431-0848. That's 1-800-431-0848. 1-800-431-0848. Or go to SelectQuote.com. We shop. You save. Get full details on the example policy at SelectQuote.com/commercials. Your price can vary depending on your health, issuing company, and other factors not available in all states.
Today is a big day of economic updates. Investors watching reports on consumer comfort, jobless claims, import-export prices, and the Fed's balance sheet. A Microsoft executive saying there's no so-called silver bullet to stop terrorists from using the internet. He told the UN Security Council there are already tens of thousands of terrorist internet accounts, with more springing up all the time. The government posting a budget surplus of $106 billion in April, thanks to those annual tax receipts. Japan's Mitsubishi Motors says tampering with fuel economy data may have occurred on all of its vehicles sold in Japan. Mitsubishi revealing fraud was so widespread it probably affected all current and discontinued Mitsubishi models. Please join me for Lou Dobbs tonight at 7 and 11 Eastern on the Fox Business Network. This is the Lou Dobbs Financial Report.
We're so excited about our sold-out golf outing at the Bolingbrook Golf Club coming up on Thursday, June 16th to benefit Operation Support Our Troops America.
If you weren't able to get in this year, don't worry. You can still reserve a tee time at the Bolingbrook Golf Club anytime this spring or summer by visiting BolingbrookGolfClub.com.
And thanks to the sponsors who are making our golf outing possible.
RE/MAX Professionals, Charity Golf International, Dr. Amy and Associates, MJ Miller and Company Jewelers in Barrington, Augustino's Rock and Roll Deli, and Pearl Mortgage. Human trafficking has become the world's fastest growing crime, with over 27 million people enslaved, 2 million of them underage. The Abolitionist takes viewers behind the scenes as former CIA and Homeland Security agent Tim Ballard and his team of highly trained operatives risk their own lives to free innocent young victims from captivity. Tim Ballard believes God has called him to this work. Don't miss The Abolitionist, a one-day theater event, Monday, May 16th. Get your tickets today at fathomevents.com. It's rated PG-13.
Now that spring has arrived, it's likely you're looking forward to the warmer weather. But if you're a business owner, facilities manager, or maintenance engineer, you risk the same potential problem every year. A complete system failure. In fact, up to half of all commercial air conditioning units fail upon startup each season due to the lack of regular maintenance and repair. Let the professionals at Air Comfort make a comprehensive assessment of your mechanical system before there's a problem. A poorly operating air conditioning system results in uneven temperatures and humidity problems, leading to unhealthy mold and mildew growth. Don't compromise your business's overall air quality. Schedule today with Air Comfort. Call 708-345-1900 or visit aircomfort.com. Even if you're under contract with another provider, let Air Comfort provide your second opinion. After all, there's a reason why hundreds of businesses have trusted Air Comfort with their mechanical maintenance for more than 80 years. That's Air Comfort, a tradition of excellence since 1935.
AM 560, The Answer.
Dan and Amy, we're talking to Fran Coombs from Rassman Reports Polling, and
he was really good. I love him.
Yeah, very interesting.
Come on the show more often.
Matthew in Hammond, Indiana, you're on Chicago's Morning Answer.
Thank you, guys. That last guest, he's delusional.
He's not.
There's no way that any anti-Trumpers, never-Trumpers, are going to support him. That's the whole point. If we're still in it at this point, if we're still never Trump after everything that's happened, why does he think we're going to go and any point support Trump. He's delusional.
Wait. You got to think about the future, though. What kind of Supreme Court justice nominees do you want?
No, I think the question is, I don't think he's saying that there are some people who will not vote for Trump. He's saying two things. One, most of those never Trump people that are doing it out of conservative principles will not vote for Hillary. And number two, how big is that group? We don't know how big it is yet, but he's suspecting it won't be that big. So that's just conjecture.
Right, I get that, but I think that those of us who are, wanting Ryan, for example, Paul Ryan, to stand in there and stand his ground, that's what we're doing. We're looking at the big picture. That's exactly what we're doing.
Well, if Paul Ryan accepts him, will you accept Donald Trump then?
Not at all. And I will. Okay. And I've already called Paul Ryan's office and said the best thing for him in the long term, and for people like Sass, is to stand their ground and oppose Trump in the long run. That's what's best for the country. Best for the party. Best for their political chances. They will be heroes long after the milk has dried on the lips of the political hacks who suck at the swollen teeth of Trump. Remember that.
Very vivid. Thanks for the call, Matthew.
Yeah.
You've made the switch, and it feels so good. You've switched to Chicago's Morning Answer on AM 560. The Answer.
Psoriasis and vitiligo are serious diseases. You've tried everything and have been disappointed. Now there's X-Track, a breakthrough treatment that provides long-lasting, safe relief. X-Track is FDA cleared for the treatment of psoriasis and vitiligo and is endorsed by thousands of dermatologists and hospitals because it works. Clinical studies show immediate results with up to 95% clearance. The in-office visits are fast, painless, with virtually no side effects. With thousands of providers treating patients all over the country, X-Track is covered by all major insurance companies and Medicare. We'll help you find a doctor close by, and there is no cost to you until you see results. Get your life back. Live free. Live X-Track clear.
For your no-cost treatment, call now 800-972-3143. That's 800-972-3143. 800-972-3143 or visit xtracradio.com. Qualified patients, certain restrictions apply, results may vary.
On AM 560 The Answer, we talk about the important issues that affect your world. Things like the economy, education, and foreign policy. There's always so much going on in the news that we don't always have the time to focus in and talk about the big ideas behind the important issues. Enter Upstream Ideas online at upstream-ideas.com. Upstream Ideas, in partnership with the Illinois Policy Institute, provides the kind of information that informs the policy discussions happening here on AM 560. At Upstream Ideas, you'll broaden the debate, move beyond partisan assumptions, and challenge accepted beliefs. Upstream Ideas goes against the current and thinks upstream. Go online now at upstream-ideas.com. That's upstream-ideas.com. You'll be armed with new information and fresh perspectives to help encourage you to make the state of Illinois and the United States of America a bit freer, a bit more just, and a bit more civilized. Upstream-ideas.com.
CertaPro painters are here for every stage of your life, from moving into a new home, creating the ideal nursery, to reinventing your living space. CertaPro painting experts create the perfect setting while you do life. They came to our home and brightened our walls and our moods so very quiet they wouldn't wake a baby. But the best part? They clean up after themselves so you don't have to do it. And now that spring is here, it is the perfect time to spruce up your home's exterior. Take a look at your home. Do you see chipping, peeling, fading? Well, leave it to CertaPro painting experts to refresh, renew, and protect your biggest investment, your home. Now is the time to call for your free estimate and schedule your exterior painting project. 1-800-GO-CERTA, 1-800-GOCERTA. That's CERTA with a C. Or visit CertaPro.com today. CertaPro.com. CertaPro painters, we do painting, you do life. Each CertaPro painter's business is independently owned and operated.
Coming up at 7:07, should Trump release his tax returns? We'll take your calls, but now let's check the headlines with Mike Scott.
Dan, at least 4 injured in a shooting on Chicago's South Side, and Chicago police and SWAT team officers are outside a home in the Englewood neighborhood, a barricade situation after 3 were killed. Some sun returns later this afternoon. WIND Chicago News Time, 7 o'clock.
Fox
Fox News Radio, I'm Lisa Brady. Donald Trump heads behind closed doors in Washington later this morning for what may be pivotal meetings in the push for party unity.
Hopefully it'll work out.
Fox Radio's Rachel Sutherland is live in D.C.
Lisa, about an hour from now, the presumptive GOP nominee will meet with Republican National Committee Chair Reince Priebus and House Speaker Paul Ryan.
I have a lot of respect for Paul, and I think we're going to have a very good meeting.
Speaker Ryan, who has said he's not ready to endorse Trump, says he's only met him once before.
We just need to get to know each other, and we, as a leadership team, are enjoying the fact that
Mic check, mic check. Wow, that's loud. Mic check, mic check. And little time off. And little time off. With just a few days off. Last year, Deputy Attorney General Sally Quillian Yates issued a memorandum. Last year, Deputy Attorney General Sally Quillian Yates issued a memorandum.
In the overnight hours, but we're back to mostly dry conditions across much of our listening area. 7:02 on AM 560, The Answer. Good morning. I'm Mike Scott. A man suspected of killing another man and two women in the Inglewood neighborhood overnight is now barricaded in a home in the city's Fernwood neighborhood. Police officers, SWAT team members, and ambulances have surrounded a home near West 104th and South Emerald. Investigators tell us the suspect killed a 50-year-old man, a 30-year-old woman, and a 26-year-old woman in a domestic-related incident. At least 4 have been shot in Chicago's Park Manor neighborhood on the city's south side. Chicago police tell us the victims were approached by someone on foot. Late Wednesday, they opened fire and then fled in another vehicle. A suburban Chicago woman will find out in the coming days if she will go to prison for the death of her daughter in a botched murder-suicide. Bonnie Liltz has pleaded guilty to involuntary manslaughter of her 28-year-old disabled daughter, Courtney. She faces up to 14 years in prison, but the judge can sentence her to probation. Circuit Judge Joel Greenblatt said he will announce her sentence next week. Friends of the Parks pushing forward in their quest to keep the Lucas Museum off Chicago's lakefront. The group filing a motion yesterday claiming their lawsuit against the project deserves to be decided in court. San Diego sweeps 2 from the Cubs. Texas over the White Sox 6-5. MLS, Vancouver over the Fire 2-1. The news, a service of TimeshareExitTeam.com. Are you trapped in your timeshare contract? Get out now, safely and legitimately at TimeshareExitTeam.com. 844-321-EXIT. They will get you out or give you a full refund. 844-321-EXIT. 7:04, and a check of traffic and weather on the way next on AM 560.
This election season, whether you're never Trump.
I'm just not ready to do that at this point.
Or only Trump.
I would love to beat them.
Or just simply, what the Trump.
This is almost like an arranged marriage. We thought we were going to marry somebody else. We're now going to marry Donald Trump.
Keep it here as we make radio great again.
I don't like Donald Trump. I don't think he's a conservative, but I do think he is better than Hillary Clinton.
Donald Trump wasn't my first choice.
On AM 560.
It has gotten so out of control.
The Answer.
It's true, you can't take it with you, but you can make sure what you don't take with you goes to the ones you love, not the government. And you can preserve a legacy by doing one of the most important things possible for your children and grandchildren. It's critical to realize that if you don't have an estate plan, everything you own, including your house, cars, and investments, could be tied up in courts for a year or more. It could cost your estate tens of thousands of dollars in probate and legal fees, plus double government taxation. Avoid this by learning estate planning essentials. Tom Fortino of the Alpha Wealth Group and host of the Alpha Wealth Hour, heard Saturdays on AM 560, is hosting a free estate planning workshop on Saturday, May 14th in Oak Brook Terrace. Tom's a featured expert on Fox Business, Fortune, and Money Magazine. To reserve your seat for this free estate planning workshop, call the Alpha Wealth Group today at 630-873-6326. That's 630-873-6326. 630-873-6326. Investment advisory services offered through Retirement Wealth Advisors, Inc.
Life can be unpredictable. That's why you should take control of your family's future now with an estate plan bundle from LegalZoom. Not sure whether you need a last will or a living trust? LegalZoom's network of independent attorneys in 48 states can help you decide which one's right for you without billing by the hour, since LegalZoom isn't a law firm. Plus, updating your estate plan as your family and assets grow couldn't be easier. Enjoy your life. Use LegalZoom for the legal stuff. LegalZoom. Legal help is here.
It's the Ready to Ride sales event and time to gear up for your ultimate thrill ride. Hit the open road on a Can-Am Spyder. With its unique Y-frame design, your confidence will only be exceeded by your exhilaration. Hurry in by May 31st and save up to $2,500 on select 2015 Can-Am Spyder models, plus get great financing. Get ready to ride because the fun starts now.
Visit iMotorsports in Elmhurst or online at iMotorsportsinc.com.
Subject to credit approval. Restrictions may apply. See dealer for details.
7:06 in our Guardian Security Services Traffic Center. Here's Jim Talamonte.
Thanks, Mike. The Edens inbound has delays from Church Street to the junction. 30 minutes Lake Cook to Montrose, outbound 27 with a crash at Foster in the left lane. Kennedy is now 45 minutes O'Hare to downtown, 22 from Montrose, 15 in the Express. How about it's a mess from Ohio to Sayre? An hour and 5 minutes downtown to O'Hare. Inbound Eisenhower, an hour and 5 minutes from Thorndale to the post office. 48 minutes from Manheim, outbound 46 to Thorndale. Stevenson, worse, an hour and 15 minutes, 355 to Lakeshore Drive, an hour from the Tri-State, outbound 45 minutes to 355. Ryan is 30 minutes, 95th to downtown. Tri-State delays are northbound from 115th to 47th, Roosevelt to North Avenue, and Dempster to Gulf, where southbound is car fire on the exit ramp. Eastbound Adams Tollway bottled up, Roselle to 53, and from the Tri-State to the River Road Toll. Veterans Memorial slow from the Fountain Toll to the Reagan Tollway. Traffic answers when you need them most. Jim Talamonte, AM 560, The Answer.
Chicago's Morning Answer continues next. Your official Chicagoland weather forecast. From the AirComfort.com Weather Center, here's our meteorologist, Kevin Snyder.
Areas of fog this morning with a shower in the area early on. Then clouds will break for some sun, and it will become breezy for the afternoon. High today of 72 and a low tonight 49. I'm Kevin Snyder on AM 560, The Answer.
Clouds and sun, 61 at O'Hare. Next news, 7:30. Chicago's Morning Answer with Dan and Amy continues next on AM 560, The Answer.
This hourly segment is brought to you by Financial Planning with Jack Taboda, your 401k rollover specialist. Heard Saturday mornings at 7 on AM 560, The Answer.
Good morning. Welcome to your Thursday morning briefing. Here's what you need to know to start your day.
Number one, I have a lot of respect for Paul, and I think we're going to have a very good meeting, I hope.
We just need to get to know each other, and we, as a leadership team, are enjoying the fact that we have a chance to meet with him.
The things I'm the most proud of were the more serious speeches, I think. Healthcare.
Lovett wrote the line about, if you like your insurance, you can keep it.
How dare you?
This is Chicago's Morning Answer with Dan Proft and Amy Jacobson on AM 560, The Answer.
Good morning, Dan and Amy. And we're going to get to Trump's tax returns and the issue of whether he should release his tax returns just a moment. But, Amy, as you know, I keep up on what's going on locally in Miami because I'm just a couple of birthdays away from being forced to move to Florida. And happened upon this story.
Yeah? Is
seems
this
like
a story you won't show me what it is?
It seems like it's maybe foreshadowing.
Oh, no. What happened? What?
two charged after Miami kitten dies in do-it-yourself declawing operation.
Oh, stop it. Please.
When does your cat go under the knife?
In about, probably, right now.
You sure this is a licensed veterinarian? Because there's two Miami-Dade residents who are facing felony animal cruelty charges for this do-it-yourself declawing that led to the death of poor little Toby the cat.
Oh, that's awful.
Good night, America. Bye forever.
Yeah.
Is there a picture of Toby?
Deceased.
Oh.
Yeah. I mean, Donna wants you to feel bad about yourself.
Well, yeah, I made the decision after much research that Kit Kat's getting declawed as we speak.
An angel.
And I just want you to know that they're using a very friendly procedure. They're using the laser, and then after they laser her claws off, I'm laughing so I don't cry. After they laser her claws off, the next day they do a laser cool down, because lasers are really cool.
Toby, I'm coming for you, says Kit Kat.
But I'll
see you soon, Toby.
I read online that the people that I chose to declaw my cat or to perform the procedure they're good guys.
Yeah, good guys, not licensed veterinarians, but they're good guys. Yeah, so good guys here facing felony animal cruelty charges in Miami. All right, your funeral.
We'll let you know how it goes.
Cleansing breath.
If I get a phone call.
I'm sorry, Kit Kat. We did what we could. That's a lot. We've got a live remote. We've got Kit Kat. That's waiting. Waiting to go into the laser.
Put a remote camera on her, did you?
Now there's this. Mitt Romney posted on Facebook, because he's hip. He wears the skinny jeans. He posts on Facebook. It's disqualifying for a modern-day presidential nominee to refuse to release tax returns to the voters, especially one who has not been subject to public scrutiny in either military or public service. Tax returns provide the public with its sole confirmation of the veracity of the candidate's representations regarding charities, priorities, wealth, tax conformance, and conflicts of interest. Further, while not a likely circumstance, the potential for hidden inappropriate associations with foreign entities, criminal organizations, or other unsavory groups is simply too great a risk to ignore for someone who's seeking to be commander-in-chief. And Romney goes on to suggest correctly that Trump says he's being audited, so he can't release his tax returns. Well, that's not true. And
yeah, the IRS says you can release your tax returns if you're going through an audit.
And
an audit does not preclude you from releasing your tax returns.
And even if it wasn't with respect to the tax returns for the years that are being audited, previous years. I mean, it's just, come on. So given Mr. Trump's equanimity with other flaws in his history, we can only assume it's a bombshell of unusual size. That's what Romney said about Trump's refusal to release his tax returns. So the question is, do you think Trump should release his tax returns? 312-642-5600, turnkey.pro, answer line 64636DA, turnkey.pro, text line, or does it matter to you? Is it a big deal or is it not a big deal?
Well, I think you get a picture of the priorities of that person, what charities they've donated to. There's the effective tax rate, which is important. If you're setting tax policies, if you're president, I mean, this is the biggest job interview of his lifetime, and he's not disclosing to us his tax returns. He was on with Greta Van Susteren last night trying to explain himself.
If your audit goes back 7 years, would you release the 8th year back? Would you be willing to do that?
Well, number one, it would be meaningless. I'd have to find out how far back it goes. But number one, when you go back 8 years, it gets to be.
I know, but people are suspicious. But people are suspicious that you're not releasing because in January of 2012, you said to me that Mitt Romney was making a big mistake by not releasing his. So naturally, that's become a flashpoint.
No, but he wasn't under audit. I'm under audit. No lawyer would say release it when you're under audit. And these are very simple audits.
I agree. I'm a lawyer. I wouldn't have someone, but I agree.
No, you represented me, and I'm under audit, and it's a routine
I'd tell you
audit.
Not to release.
You would
I
say
agree.
not release.
If I were your lawyer.
So the answer is I'll release. Hopefully before the election, I'll release, and I'd like to release. By the way, you learn very little from a tax return. You know, I've released my financials, and my financials show tremendous numbers, very little debt, all of that. You don't learn very much from a tax return.
Part of the thing to do with releasing, though, is it dispels that argument that there's something going on that you're not doing it.
Yeah, I mean, is he hiding something?
Well, the issue is the conspiracy. Being conspiratorial doesn't help. It's a very simple issue. It's an issue of transparency. Trump's right that the tax return doesn't tell you a whole lot, but it gives you directional information.
Yeah.
And so it's relevant.
And
if
what
it's
deductions he's taken and what charities he's given to.
And if it's doesn't tell you very much, then why won't you just release the returns that are not under audit and end the issue? And the other thing it does, politically speaking, it gives Trump more leverage to say, I released my tax returns. I've been transparent about everything. And Hillary Clinton still won't release the transcripts for those six-figure speeches she gave to the big banks. I want those transcripts. But when he has his own transparency issue, it middles the issue of Hillary Clinton and her bank transcripts. And so why not just get this out of the way, be done with it? We have candidates from every level of office, not just the presidency, routinely releasing their tax returns and being called to do so. I mean, except for House Speaker Mike Madigan. He's the only one that's exempted, but that's because we have an awful...
He's hiding something.
No, that's because we have an awful Chicago press corps that's an accomplice to the Chicago Democrats. That's the problem there.
Well, quickly, Hillary Clinton, she responded, she took the high road. She found this as a way to trounce on Trump.
When you run for president, especially when you become the nominee, that is kind of expected. My husband and I have released 33 years of tax returns. We got 8 years on our website right now.
So Hillary is a joke. Hillary is living in the biggest glass house funded by the Clinton Foundation that ever existed. We don't need her tax returns. We have Peter Schweitzer's book, Clinton Cash. We know. And, of course, she just opens herself up to her own standard of I will release the transcripts and everybody else releases their transcripts. I mean, Trump should be pillaring her, particularly in terms of an appeal to Bernie voters and, frankly, to continue to provide Bernie some air cover about those transcripts of the speeches she gave to the big banks for which he was paid hundreds of thousands of dollars. But so long as he has this issue, it muddies the waters. So why don't you remove the issue? Simple as that.
If he has nothing to hide, then just release them. Or maybe he's not as charitable as he tells people he is. Maybe he hasn't given us enough money to Wounded Warriors Project as he claims he has.
He shouldn't be giving any money to Wounded Warrior Project. No. Jason in Franklin Park, you're on Chicago's Morning Answer.
Oh. He is the biggest hypocrite that I've ever heard these days.
Romney, as you're saying?
Yeah, Mitt Romney, because when it came time when he was running, it took him forever and a day to release his tax returns, too.
Okay, but
he released them.
But forget Romney for a second. Do you think Trump should release his tax returns?
I'm kind of on the fence. I don't really think tax returns tell you a whole bunch. I mean, I get the whole point of it. I don't really think that it's really our business as far as what the tax returns are. But I do understand as far as the transparency, and especially with the whole Hillary issue right now, is that if you're going to be, griping about that Hillary needs to release the transcripts of her speeches, then yeah, absolutely, you look like a fool when you won't release your tax returns. So I get the reason why it would be in his best interest to do it.
Well, if he's running for president, I mean, I'd like to know how much money he's made from investments. Is he a smart investor?
Well,
I mean, he has filed for bankruptcy several times. And that's neither here nor there. But why hide it?
Well, first of all, we know a lot about Trump's business dealings, and a few years of tax returns, even many years of tax returns, isn't going to quite paint the picture you want painted. But I mean, there's just so much out there about Trump, and that's fine, and there should be as a nominee for president of the United States. But this creates an issue that otherwise would not exist, except to the extent that there is an underlying issue that he doesn't want to deal with. I mean, that's the only thing that's logical, unless he thinks this is somehow some kind of smart political misdirection play, which it isn't. Pat and Zion, you're on Chicago's Morning Answer.
Hi, guys.
Hi.
I think it goes back to the same thing. They keep trying to get him caught up on something, or Trump ran on the idea that he's going to change the way politics are done. He's going to make things transparency in Washington. He's going to bring jobs to this country. Guys like you that don't support him, just don't support him. I agree with that. I understand that. But every time there's a little opportunity to jump on a bandwagon, like a stupid issue of releasing his tax returns, I could care less what's in his tax returns. What I care about is he brings jobs to this country, he brings transparency, and the leadership in the Republican Party, including guys like you ought to step aside and say, hey, what can we do to get him elected? And then let's do the best we can to make sure people are in place to make the changes.
Yeah, thanks.
Instead, it's all this petty stuff that you guys do.
It's not. Thanks for the call, Pat. It's not petty. It's not petty. It's something that is imposed upon candidates at every level of office.
Yeah.
I know as someone who ran for governor, when everybody was pressured to release their tax returns, I was happy to release them. Mine aren't particularly interesting, and there aren't very big big numbers on them. But and the other thing, Pat, and other Trump supporters, this is politically problematic. It is politically inhibiting him. So forget what you think about me and I don't support Trump or Amy doesn't support Trump. It isn't helping him politically. Make the political argument that this is helping him then if we're wrong about it.
And ABC News reported that he's the first major party nominee in 40 years, Dan, not to release his tax returns.
Well,
I mean, he still has time to change.
May,
but
yes, right. Patrick, on the Northwest side, you're in Chicago's Morning Answer.
Yeah, first, let's talk about his charitable contributions. I know he's given $30 million to St. Jude's Hospital to build a surgical wing there. So all these people talking about, maybe he's really not that, before we cast aspersions, you should check it out. I don't really think it's that important to release his tax returns. Obviously, one, he's probably thinking there's a lot there to be hit for, and maybe he thinks the downside of not exposing him is, better than the downside of, all his donations to Clinton and whoever, all these political
all that. Thanks for the call, Patrick. Wait a second. The political donations are all disclosed, so that's already baked in.
Yeah, but maybe he donated money to Planned Parenthood.
Well, here's the thing.
I'm just saying.
That's already baked. That's also baked in. I mean, everything about donation, this is baked in. So my point is to say I'm not going to do kind of what Romney's doing, these kind of cheap insinuations about mob ties or ties to corrupt organizations or speculate about what he did or didn't do in terms of donations. Just end it all. End all the speculation and focus on Hillary and her bank transcripts when it comes to the larger issue of transparency, which is widely popular for obvious reasons because we're coming out of the most opaque administration in U.S. history. Mike in New Lenox. Hey, Mike.
Hi, guys. I think Trump is not releasing tax returns because he's really not as rich as he says he is. And that'll create a different story. I've got a theory right now that we have a guy who lies about how great he's not versus a lady who lies about how bad she's not. And I think he sees the opposite about the opposite thing. By the way, it's not going to end it. Okay, they turned Mitt Romney, a guy who donated $6 million a year, they turned him into a cheap fraud who didn't pay enough taxes. It's not going to end it if he releases them. So that's why we're all like, who cares? Homer Simpson, who the heck cares?
Thanks for the call, Mike, and the Homer Simpson impersonation.
Yeah.
I'm not saying it's going to end it, but it ends this, and it allows him to get back on offense rather than responding to this question on all the talk shows that he goes on. We'll do a couple more rounds on this after this.
Oh, my God, who the hell cares?
Connect with Dan and Amy using the AM 560 mobile app. Download it today at 560theanswer.com/mobile.
A tweet actually from Ann B. Davis's bowling ball.
Yeah.
Declawing your cat equates to taking away the cat's Second Amendment rights, Amy. Stop playing God.
Gosh. More of your phone calls about Trump not releasing his taxes. Let's stay focused. Coming up, 312-642-5600. Grab a line. And here's your forecast for today. We start off with some light fog, cloudy skies. We will have some sunshine, though, and breezy conditions by this afternoon, a high of 72 degrees. And then tomorrow, some sun, then clouds, breezy, but we can't rule out a late afternoon, early evening rain shower. A little bit cooler, a high of 66. Travel times, here's Jim at Telemonte. Tell me more.
Thank you, Amy. Good morning. Good morning, Dan. The Edens is 30 minutes either way between Lake Cook and Montrose to Kennedy. 50 minutes O'Hare to downtown. Outbound, it's an hour and 5 minutes downtown to O'Hare. The Eisenhower, an hour and 10 minutes. Thorndale to the post office. Outbound, 51 minutes. The Stevenson, an hour and 20 minutes. 355 to Lakeshore Drive. Outbound, 40 minutes. The Ryan is a 30-minute drive. 95th to downtown. Lakeshore Drive, now bottled up southbound Irving Park to North Avenue and 18th to the Stevenson. Northbound very slow from the Stevenson to Jackson. Northbound Tri-State slow from 115th to 47th. Roosevelt to North Avenue and Dempster to Gulf Road. It's an earlier southbound car fire. And southbound are delays to the north from the Lake Forest Oasis to 60. Northbound Veterans Memorial, it's bumper to bumper from Boughton to the Reagan Tollway and Butterfield to Roosevelt. I'm Jim Talamonte in the Guardian Security Services Traffic Center.
The stock market may seem like a roller coaster ride, but your finances don't have to be. You may be wondering, is there another big correction on the horizon? If so, are you prepared? Or are you at the mercy of stockbrokers if it happens? Let Online Trading Academy teach you how to navigate the stock market during these changing times. They offer professional trading and investing education for every skill level. They'll teach you a rules-based strategy, trading on knowledge, not speculation, so you can identify market changes before they happen. Reserve your seat today for a free half-day training course at their state-of-the-art education facility in Lombard. Call 877-OTA-CHIC now. Mention this ad, and Online Trading Academy will send you a free home video study course valued at $247 just for calling. So call now, 877-OTA-CHIC.
This is Pete. I've had 3 missing teeth and have been thinking for a while about getting something done to get them replaced. I went to Dr. Neruzzi at Fox River Periodontics to see what they could do, and I'm glad that I did that. The staff there was fantastic. Dr. Neruzzi made sure I was comfortable during the entire process, always checking to make sure there was no pain. All my visits were very pleasant, and I'm glad I had it done. Another piece that made it fantastic was they worked with me on the payment. As all of us know, these are not inexpensive items to do, so they worked with me on the payment options as well as with my insurance carrier to help minimize my out-of-pocket cost. I feel so much better now that I've had my teeth and my dental implants put in. I feel more confident as I'm walking around. For those of you out there that are missing teeth and thinking about doing this, I would recommend you see Dr. Neruzzi and his staff. They're great, and I would highly recommend them going forward.
This is Dr. Neruzzi. I personally guarantee your happiness with your implants. Go to implantsforme.com.
For missing teeth, dental implants are wonderful. The advantages are fantastic. Just remember, implantsforme.com. Implantsforme.com.
Hi, I'm Dr. Howard.
So you got to ask yourself, why does he want to release him?
These products.
When you run for president, especially when you become the nominee.
And I'm often surprised at my emotions that arise when people talk about how they have improved the quality of their life.
One thing that I'm amazed about is that prior to taking this, I was having hot flashes almost every day, sometimes periodically, and haven't had them since then. So by all means, that's the one thing that I'm very grateful for.
These people are real. I'd like to thank the Balance of Nature customers for trusting me and for allowing me to help them in their pursuit of health.
Call now. Accept and complete Dr. Howard's 120-day challenge to earn a free month supply of Balance of Nature. Call 1-800-2468-751. That's 1-800-2468-751. Or go online to balanceofnature.com. Use promo code CHICAGO.
AM 560, The Answer.
Dan and Amy talking about Trump and tax returns. Part of the argument, I think, is give cover to Bernie so Bernie can continue taking apart Hillary. Listen to Bernie on MSNBC yesterday with Mrs. Alan Greenspan.
Andrea Mitchell.
And getting a little tired of the Andrea Mitchells of the world flacking for Hillary.
What we intend to do, and I know. Yeah, I'm sorry.
Just saying sir. I'm just saying that Hillary Clinton's the opposition to her, the negatives against her, have been built up by Donald Trump just hammering away at her. And up until now, at least, he has not been going after you as much. She's fighting two big candidates, and you're fighting one.
Oh, really? Andrea, in every state that we have won, in 19 states, we have had to take on the entire Democratic establishment. We've had to take on senators and governors and mayors and members of Congress. That's what we have taken on. So please do not moan to me about Hillary Clinton's problems.
I love it. I love it. Don't moan to me about Hillary Clinton's problems. Exactly. So those two cantankerous old men, for different reasons, should team up to continue taking apart Hillary and focus on those bank transcripts. And all he has to do is release his tax returns. Barbara and Wilmette, you're on Chicago's Morning Answer. Oh.
Right side, Dad.
Barbara, sorry about that. There you go, Barbara.
And I don't care about Donald Trump's taxes at all. And what I want him to do is hammer Paul Ryan. Paul Ryan is just like Mark Kirk. He is not he's not a conservative, and Conservative Review gives him an F.
Do you want Donald Trump to win?
You know what? If he's going to be the person who's nominated to do that, yes, I want a Republican to win. I'd vote for Mickey Mouse if he was running.
Well, spending time attacking Paul Ryan doesn't get Donald Trump to the White House. Thanks for the call, Barbara.
It destroys the Republican Party because there's so much infighting. Just let's get on the same page. And
Steve in Northfield, you're on Chicago's Morning Answer.
Yeah, hi there. Trump should disclose the tax returns. I have a hunch as to why he's not doing it. It's only a hunch. Well, there were thousands of rich Americans who are hiding their income in Swiss and overseas bank accounts. And the Department of Justice went after these overseas banks and many taxpayers. And thousands of Americans had entered into settlement agreements. They were confidential, they're not public. But I'm just wondering whether Trump was one of these offshore tax evaders, and that would be a bombshell.
Thanks for we got to jump, Steve. Thanks for the call.
Hear about the big stories of the day, then talk about them right here on Chicago's Morning Answer on AM 560. The Answer.
My name is David Hochberg, Vice President of Lending at Pearl Mortgage. If you're looking to purchase a new home or refinance your existing home, give me a call. Tammy wanted to contact a realtor before purchasing a home in Buffalo Grove. Bad move. Not getting pre-qualified by me before talking to a realtor is like serving a bacon double cheeseburger to a rabbi. Not kosher. I pre-qualified Tammy to purchase a home and introduced her to Gary Ellis, my preferred Buffalo Grove realtor. If you're purchasing a home, call me first. I'll pre-qualify you for free and introduce you to my experienced team of preferred realtors who will help you locate the perfect home. My team of real estate experts will always look out for your financial best interest. If you're buying a home, give me a call now at 312-751-1333 or visit am560david.com. I've helped thousands of AM 560 listeners, but I can't help if you don't call 312-751-1333 or visit am560david.com. Pearl Mortgage and Equal Housing Lender, Illinois Residential Mortgage License T4358, RMLA, NMLS 19186.
We're so excited about our sold-out golf outing at the Bolingbrook Golf Club coming up on Thursday, June 16th to benefit Operation Support Our Troops America.
If you weren't able to get in this year, don't worry. You can still reserve a tee time at the Bolingbrook Golf Club anytime this spring or summer by visiting BolingbrookGolfClub.com.
And thanks to the sponsors who are making our golf outing possible.
Remax Professionals, Charity Golf International, Dr. Amy and Associates, MJ Miller and Company Jewelers in Barrington, Augustino's Rock and Roll Deli, and Pearl Mortgage.
AM 560, The Answer.
Coming up on Chicago's Morning Answer.
Yeah, you're not here to just listen to the music. John Stossel from Fox Business Network joins us to talk about his bout with lung cancer and what it taught him.
And later, why George Zimmerman needs to sell the weapon that was used in the killing of Trayvon Martin. But first, let's go into the newsroom to a very alert and ready to go Mike Scott.
63 degrees. Donald Trump heads to Capitol Hill and meets with leading Republicans who so far have not given him full support.
We want to get to know each other. I think we want to see if we have the same ideas because I represent a large group of people with very strong ideas and foundations.
One meeting will be with House Speaker Paul Ryan, who said last week he could not back the presumptive GOP presidential nominee right now.
We are committed to putting that effort in. I want to be a part of that unifying process so that we're at full strength this fall so that we can win this election.
Senate Majority Leader Mitch McConnell has also voiced lukewarm support for the Trump nomination. Months before the Summer Olympics, Brazil's political crisis deepens. President Dilma Rousseff has been suspended for up to 6 months while that country's Senate tries her for allegedly using accounting tricks to hide large budget deficits. Nissan becomes the biggest investor in struggling Mitsubishi, rocked by a scandal over cheating on mileage testing on mini car models. Nissan investing $2.2 billion. The ATF asking for the public's help in its investigation of a massive explosion at a fertilizer plant in Texas. The deadly 2013 explosion is now being classified as a criminal case. The man accused of killing 3 at a Colorado Springs Planned Parenthood will not go on trial. El Paso County District Attorney in Colorado, Dan May, telling reporters Robert Deere will be hospitalized until he may be found competent to stand trial. A man suspected of killing a man and 2 women in Chicago's Englewood neighborhood overnight is now barricaded inside a home in the city's Fernwood neighborhood. SWAT team members, police, and ambulances are surrounding a home at this time on West 104th and South Emerald. And a suburban Chicago man is accused of using voicemail to threaten Illinois Governor Bruce Rauner. King County State's Attorney's Office says Jesse Kuzma of Elgin called the governor's office of constituent affairs last week and left a threatening voicemail. According to court records, Kuzma is a machine repairman and was arrested by Illinois State Police on Tuesday. San Diego takes a pair from the Cubs, Texas over the White Sox, 6-5. The news, a service of TimeshareExitTeam.com. If you could get out of your timeshare safely and legitimately, would you? TimeshareExitTeam.com has a 100% guarantee they'll get you out or give you a full refund. 844-321-EXIT, TimeshareExitTeam.com, 844-321-EXIT. A check of traffic and weather on the way next on AM 560.
The Joe Walsh Show.
Let me go to Michael in Uptown. Hi, Michael, your turn.
Yeah, Joe, the government bailed out the rich people who own General Motors.
Let me ask you a question, Michael. Do you think it's a good idea that the government bails out billionaires?
I will not submit to your interrogation. If you got something to say to me, get up on your hind legs and speak.
Are you talking to me?
I'm talking to you.
Oh, okay. No, Michael.
I will not submit to your domination trip.
You talking to me? You talking to me? Well, I'm the only one here. Okay, Michael.
The Joe Walsh Show. Weeknights starting at 5 on AM 560. The Answer.
Here Maps, the free app that helps you beat the jam with live traffic info and public transit schedules. Get it now at here.com/commute.
Mike Rowe here for 1 hour. Today, Chuck is jogging in place to make a point about energy efficiency.
I thought I was training for a marathon.
He's been at it now for...
3 minutes.
And already he's wearing out.
I'm not.
Your heating and air conditioning systems are a lot like Chuck.
Warm yet somehow cool.
Wheezing, wasting energy, and probably headed for replacement.
You're talking about the air systems, right?
Sure, pal. Sure. Call 1 hour before it's too late.
Can you do the disclaimer for me?
Each independent franchise is licensed in its respective state or county.
Thanks.
Are you hiring? Do you know where to post your job to find the best candidates? Posting your job in one place isn't enough to find quality candidates. If you want to find the perfect hire, you need to post your job on all the top job sites. And now you can. With ZipRecruiter.com, you can post your job to 100 plus job sites, including social media networks like Facebook and Twitter, all with a single click. Find candidates in any city or industry nationwide. Just post once and watch your qualified candidates roll in to ZipRecruiter's easy-to-use interface. No juggling emails or calls to your office. Quickly screen candidates, rate them, and hire the right person fast. Find out today why ZipRecruiter has been used by over 400,000 businesses. And right now, listeners can try ZipRecruiter for free by going to ZipRecruiter.com/radiotalk. That's ZipRecruiter.com/radiotalk. One more time. To try it for free, go to ZipRecruiter.com/radiotalk.
7:37. Let's get an update on the roads now. Guardian Security Services Traffic Center time. Here's Jim Talamonte.
Thanks, Mike. The Edens has delays in both directions between Toohey and the junction. It's 30 minutes either way between Lake Cook and Montrose. The Kennedy, 50 minutes. O'Hare to downtown, outbound an hour and 10 minutes. The Eisenhower, an hour and 10. Thorndale to the post office, outbound 54 minutes. Stevenson, an hour and 20 minutes. 355 to Lakeshore Drive, outbound 42 minutes. The ride is 30 minutes from 95th to downtown. Tri-State southbound, slow 21 to 60. Northbound from 115th to 47th. Roosevelt to North Avenue and Oakton to Gulf Road. Eastbound Adams to always stop and go. Roselle to 53. And from the Tri-State to the River Road toll, traffic, a service of CC's Pizza. Ready for an adventure and flavor? CC's brings 3 new flatbread pizzas to the Unlimited Buffet. Try the new Spinach Alfredo, Chicken Bacon Club, and Honey Barbecue Chicken. More flavor to explore for the same great value, just $5 and change. Only at CC's. Better. Believe it. Traffic answers when you need them most. I'm Jim Talamonte on AM 560. The Answer.
Chicago's Morning Answer continues next. Your official Chicagoland weather forecast from the AirComfort.com Weather Center. Sun returns for a brief time this afternoon, turning breezy, high 72. Clear to partly cloudy and breezy, low 49 overnight. Sun to open the day tomorrow, then some rain late in the evening, high 66. Currently 63. Next news at 8. Chicago's Morning Answer with Dan and Amy continues next on AM 560, The Answer.
This hourly segment is brought to you by Illinois Lake County Right to Life. Visit lcrtl.org for upcoming events and information.
Your money. Find out how to keep more of it and live debt-free. Tonight on The Dave Ramsey Show, starting at 7 on AM 560. The Answer.
Good morning, Dan and Amy. So we've had an interesting last week with admissions from Ben Rhodes, President Obama's foreign policy novelist, apparently. The profile in New York Times Magazine over the weekend explaining how he manipulated the press and created an echo chamber or an echo chamber, as some would say, of
Did you say eco or echo chamber?
echo chamber. And so if and created experts who would trot out and say what the administration told them to say, so they could reposition the public's understanding of our new partner in peace, Iran, to help facilitate the glide path that President Obama wanted to create, and which he did, for Iran to obtain nuclear weapons. And then we had the editing of the State Department video, the exchange between James Rosen and State Department spokesman Jen Psaki from 2013, when Rosen was ahead of the learning curve, asked her about bilateral talks between the Obama regime and the Iranian regime, and she essentially bobbed and weaved around it. That was deleted with a white flash from the State Department website, from the YouTube video on the State Department's channel.
But thank goodness Fox News saved it.
Well,
So
James Rosen went
James
back.
Rosen
Yeah, he went back and
finally
looked at
found
it, prompted by the Ben Rhodes piece. So there's the second instance from the Ministry of Propaganda. And now here's the third. This is two of Obama's speechwriters, these effete giggle bugs, John Lovett and John Favreau, on with Charlie Rose, talking about their speechwriting. And listen to the mention and the fun guffawing they have about if you like your health care, you can keep it.
The joke speech is the most fun part of this, but the things I'm the most proud of were the more serious speeches. I think healthcare, economic speeches, and I think
Lovett wrote the line about if you like your insurance, you can keep it.
How dare you? Huge impact. And you know what? It's still true. No. Yeah. But
it's a riot.
And they probably have no idea about people in Illinois who signed up on the healthcare exchanges with Blue Cross Blue Shield, and their cancer treatments were denied at University of Chicago, Northwestern, and at Rush. During the middle of treatments, the nurses and the doctors had to go out and say, I'm sorry, we're not accepting your insurance anymore, because Obamacare has been a disaster. And if you like your health care plan, you couldn't keep your health care plan. It was all a lie, and they're laughing about it.
Well, just like Jonathan Gruber, they have the same disdain for the American people and for the truth that Jonathan Gruber, the Obamacare architect, had. And it's just all fun fodder for Charlie Rose these days. We're now joined, sticking on topic, by John Stossel, of course, our friend from the Fox Business Network. You can catch John Stossel's show Fridays, 8 p.m. Chicago time on FBN. And John, thanks for joining us. You had an interesting piece on free market medicine in Town Hall recently, and it was informed by your recent health care experience. Tell us about it.
Just struck by how all of life, where you spend your own money, customer service improves. In hospitals, where they do spend a ton of money, they do often great jobs in terms of what they cut out surgically. But then nobody uses email, and you fill out the same forms over and over again. And they tell you something will happen at 2 o'clock, and it just doesn't, and they don't tell you. And machines beeped all night, and the nurse would come in and say, oh, yeah, old batteries. You wondered, well, why doesn't anybody respond if the beeping is supposed to be a warning? Oh, no, those don't really matter. Nobody sues if they don't sleep. You sue if you die, and so they have all these extra lawyer-driven precautions based on somebody having sued 10 years ago. And, you know, they saved my life. I should be grateful. But I am just struck by how bad customer service is, and that's what always happens when you don't have a market. And people say we have free market medicine in America, but most of it where it's private is insurance, and that means a third party pays, and the market only works when the customer and the business deal directly with each other. They don't even discuss price in hospitals.
No, did they know that you were John Stossel and a consumer reporter and work for Fox Business Network?
Yes.
And that still didn't make it. I mean, I know you're not the type of person like, don't you know who I am? But they didn't tend to your needs more, knowing that you have this platform where you can talk about, customer service and how it stinks.
I don't think they thought about it. I'm sure some did not know I had that platform, and it's possible that they gave me better service and it's even worse for other people. But it seemed to be the standard fare. They have more important things to think about.
Well, and one of the issues, too, and this is kind of underappreciated maybe, is that even before Obamacare, government was the largest purchaser of health care. So it is a government-centric system, even though the hospitals say Northwestern or University of Chicago on them.
Yes, and it's University of Chicago and Northwestern, but the customer is the government, not you.
And so what about the model? I mean, in terms of, we always want to get to kind of moving beyond describing and complaining about what is and look at opportunities to highlight what should be. Are you familiar with the Surgery Center of Oklahoma, where they actually do surgery pricing, to your point of nobody knows what anything costs, and it's the most bizarre business. This is the point Steve Forbes makes all the time. The only business in the world where nobody knows what anything costs is healthcare. The provider doesn't really know, the consumer doesn't really know, because it's all essentially dictated by the government as arbiter. Surgery Center of Oklahoma, cash, but you can go on their website and price out surgeries. You know exactly what it costs, and by all accounts, they provide as good a medicine as anywhere else.
And a few more clinics are doing that now. And you also have it in the two little pockets of medicine where the customer pays himself. And that's LASIK eye surgery and cosmetic surgery. Yeah. Yep. And weird things happen there. The waiting rooms are nice. Some of them play movies. You never wait more than a few minutes to see a doctor. Right. They post the prices, and over time, the quality goes up and the prices keep coming down. It's a market. But everywhere else, you're two steps removed. The employer is paying an insurance company to pay the doctor in a hospital. We're the government.
And nobody likes surprises, and every time you get medical bills, I was told once that you should try and talk them down, and I've been trying to do that. You know what they tell me, John? They say, well, the problem is we've already submitted it to your insurance, so we can't make any deductions. Do you think they're giving me a line of bull, or do you think that's true?
I think that's true.
God, that's so crazy.
Yeah, well, right. I mean, to the extent you could even decipher some of the medical bills you get in the mail. But the other thing about just the kind of lack of a consumer connected to provider system that you're describing, John, is in those LASIK or cosmetic surgery practices, more customers, good news. In United States healthcare writ large, more customers, crisis. We have a healthcare crisis every time more people want to access the system.
I mean, that's a good point. And look, you don't have unlimited resources here. And you can either have a government system where you're going to have somebody saying you can't have that, or you'll spend more of your money, and increasingly that happens as people have the high deductible policies, which they don't like. But what that at least means is that you decide which treatments you get. And when the customer, the patient, starts to ask questions like, Doc, I'm paying. What's this going to cost? Do I really need that test? Suddenly the doctors are saying, oh, you're paying now, and I would get the money, and it doesn't have to cost $300, it'll cost $150, and then they don't know where to put the money. They haven't had a cash box for 50 years in doctors' offices. But that can make the beginning of a change. People then say, well, then only rich people will be able to afford health care. But where do they think the money came from in the first place? It costs hundreds of millions of dollars, and that money is now being taken from you by government and doled out to the hospitals. Prices would be much lower, and you would pay less. The truly poor can be helped by charity.
John, we're talking to John Stossel, Fox Business Network, his show, Friday, 8 p.m. The topic this week, free market medicine. Give us a little preview, some of the guests and some of the angles.
We're going to talk to people who've really looked at this and understand free market medicine. I'm going to give a hard time to a trial lawyer who says, I'm doing wonderful things. And they cause a lot of the unpleasant experiences we have in hospitals. In his case, on his website, he brags that he got $40 million for someone who had a baby born with birth defects. And I suspect that this was cerebral palsy, and sure enough it was. And like John Edwards, the vice presidential candidate, the senator, once made a lot of money on those cases. He was a trial lawyer, and he would say it in front of the jury, I'm channeling the baby. I hear the baby now. The baby's saying, doctor, let me out. I can't breathe. And the doctor wouldn't do a C-section. The jury awards a lot of money, and since those suits were brought, C-sections went from 6% of all births to 30% of all births. So that's a much more expensive operation, more painful for the woman, longer hospital stay, more likely to lead to infection or death. If at least the cerebral palsy rate had decreased as C-sections went from 6% to 29%, you could say, well, maybe they're accomplishing something good, but it hasn't decreased at all. It's gone up slightly. These lawyers, through slick words, make a fortune for themselves, keep half the money, and do enormous damage to the public at large.
Hey, John, how's your health?
My health is pretty good. I'm already back to beach volleyball.
All right.
And back to beach volleyball and beating up trial lawyers, which is what I really like to see John Stossel do. Not so much playing beach volleyball. But John Stossel, Fox Business Network, the show, 8 p.m. this Friday, Free Market Medicine. That sounds like that's going to be a must-watch TV. So, John, thanks so much for joining us. Appreciate it.
Thank you. Bye.
And he joined us on our turnkey.pro answer line.
It's news, opinion, insight. This is Chicago's Morning Answer on AM 560. The Answer.
Way too soon. Forecast for today, cloudy skies right now. We will see the sun.
Not like Stossel got to Claude. He's fine.
Okay, all right. Thank you. We can't rule out, though, a shower late this evening. And tomorrow, some sun, then clouds, breezy, rain late in the evening, a high of 66 degrees. Any sticky spots on the roadways? Here's Jim Talamonte.
It's sticky all over. Amy and Dan. The Kennedy is an hour and 10 minutes. O'Hare to downtown. 45 minutes from Montrose. 35 in the Express. And outbound, it's an hour from downtown to O'Hare. Eden's 28 minutes. Lake Cook to the junction. Outbound 35. The Eisenhower, an hour and 10 minutes. Thorndale to the post office. Outbound an hour and 8 minutes. Stevenson, an hour 10. 355 to Lakeshore Drive. Outbound 42 minutes. The Ryan is 30 minutes. 95th to downtown. Southbound Lakeshore Drive jammed. Bryn Mawr to North Avenue and 18th to the Stevenson. Northbound from the Stevenson to Jackson. Tri-State southbound heavy 21 to 60. Northbound it's stop and go 115th to 31st. Roosevelt to North Avenue and Oakton to Gulf Road. Adams Tollway delays. Barrington Road to 53. Veterans Memorial really slow. I-55 most of the way to Roosevelt and from the Army Trail Toll to 290. I'm Jim Talamonte in the Guardian Security Services Traffic Center.
Many of you own or manage growing companies, and you know that your entire business depends on your phones. If your phone service provider struggles to deliver calls, it can mean lost revenue. Mr. Telephone Man, something wrong with my... Remember the New Edition?
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
Boy band wonder.
That's often the case with an outdated phone system. The solution, well, it's a company that we use here at AM 560, Innovative Networks. They excel at providing innovative solutions to reinforce your company's phone infrastructure and enhance call flow. We truly appreciate how comprehensive, diligent, and cost-effective Innovative Networks was in providing solutions that scale as our business expands. Innovative Networks can even replace your outdated phone system at no cost and provide hands-on training to maximize your capabilities. You'll save money and be more focused on growing your business. Here at AM 560, we're thrilled with Innovative Networks. So follow our lead and call Innovative Networks at 312-453-7777. They're rated A+ by the Better Business Bureau. Call 312-453-7777 or visit go4.com. That's go, the number 4, inet.com.
That's Lisbeth. She doesn't know it, but she owes her life to a change in public opinion. Our younger generation of women is turning the tide of public opinion concerning abortion. The most recent statistics show that more women facing unwanted pregnancies are choosing life compared to 15 years ago. Many wonder why, if a pregnant woman and her unborn child are murdered, it's a double homicide. Yet they ask, why isn't abortion a crime? More women now value life, even if their unwanted child is to be placed for adoption, because they may feel like they can never forgive themselves of an abortion, even if the law does. Lake County Right to Life, helping young women choose courage over convenience. LCRTL.org. That's LCRTL.org. Visit Lake County Right to Life on Twitter and Facebook, or call 847-223-7022.
Former CIA agent Tim Ballard runs operations around the world rescuing young children from human trafficking. He appears in a new documentary, The Abolitionists, which is being released this coming Monday, the 16th. The Abolitionist follows Ballard as he liberates children in Haiti and Colombia, So to see this new documentary, visit fathomevents.com to purchase tickets. It is a one-night only event. Fathomevents.com. Do it now. Fathomevents.com.
If you could quickly and painlessly clear your psoriasis or vitiligo, would you?
No matter how big the psoriasis is, no matter how small the psoriasis, we can help you.
Ashley is a clinical specialist for X-Tract, the amazing in-office treatment for psoriasis and vitiligo that's clinically proven to show immediate results with up to 95% clearance.
What my patients love most about the X-Tract treatments is it's safe, it's FDA cleared, and they're seeing results very quickly.
End the embarrassing, painful patches and discoloration with X-Tract. There's no medications, no topical ointments, and virtually no side effects. X-Tract uses light to transform your skin and change your life. It's covered by all major insurances and Medicare and will help you find a doctor close by.
I love what I do. I love coming in every day and making a difference in patients' lives. It's amazing.
Call now to live X-Tract Clear. Call 800-978-3554. That's 800-978-3554. 800-978-3554 or visit xtracradio.com. Qualified patients, certain restrictions apply.
And now, a moment of objectivism with Yaron Brook and the Ayn Rand Institute.
Free speech is under attack. After the massacre of Charlie Hebdo in Paris, the intimidation of Sony Pictures over the interview, and the attacks on American soil in Garland, Texas, it's clear that standing up for free speech is more important now than ever. In a growing climate of self-censorship in America, Islamic totalitarianism is just one of the threats to free speech today. Our understanding of free speech and its importance is vital to our willingness to defend it. Visit ARIradio.com to find out what free speech really means and why anyone who values freedom must stand up for the right to free speech. From the Ayn Rand Institute, I'm Yaron Brook.
This has been a moment of objectivism from the Ayn Rand Institute. To learn more, listen to the Yaron Brook Show, Saturdays at 4 on AM 560, and visit ARIradio.com.
Mark your calendar, Chicago, for Tuesday, June 7th at the Langham Hotel for the 5th Annual Atlas Shrugged Revolution Dinner. This event has everything: a worthy cause, engaging speakers including AM 560's Joe Walsh, a beautiful venue, and fantastic food. Plus, it's your chance to target your support of the Ayn Rand Institute for students in the Chicagoland area. Complete details are online at aynrand.org/Chicago. That's aynrand.org/Chicago.
Guys, when it comes to your health, do you know your numbers? Now, you might know your blood pressure and cholesterol, but do you know your testosterone number? I know my number, and that's because Low T Center makes it easy. You walk in, take a simple blood test, and because their lab is on site, you'll know your results within minutes. If you've noticed a decline in energy, stamina, or libido, you may have low testosterone. Low testosterone makes you feel tired and grumpy. It can also raise your cholesterol and cause weight gain. Low T Center's experienced medical staff will educate you on the benefits and risks of testosterone replacement. At Low T Center, services are covered by most health insurance companies, and they have flexible hours for your convenience. So do yourself a favor and call 630-409-4305. Tell them Dan Prof sent you. That's me. That number, 630-409-4305, or go to lowtcenter.com.
If you're serious about selling your home, now is the time. Supply is low, and it's a great seller's market in many Chicagoland neighborhoods. I've done the research, and along with my Salem Radio colleagues, Mike Gallagher and Michael Medved, we all recommend that you call Saul. Saul Z and the Z team are so good that if they don't sell your home in 59 days, they'll sell it for free, guaranteed. Saul is ranked 106 out of 1.2 million agents by the Wall Street Journal. His proven marketing system is so effective that he sells on average a home every single day, attracting multiple full-price offers. That demand helps sell your home fast and at the highest price. It's a no-brainer. If I were selling a home in Chicagoland, I'd call Saul. Go online to callsaul.net or call Saul now at 888-346-0666. That's callsaul, S-A-U-L.net, or 888-346-0666. You'd better call Saul.
It's the Ready to Ride sales event and time to gear up for your ultimate adventure. Ride the waves or take on trails with control and peace of mind. Sea-Doo watercrafts and Can-Am ATVs are engineered to perform and excite. Get your Sea-Doo starting at $51.99 and save up to $1,000 on select 2015 Can-Am ATVs. Get ready to ride because the fun starts now. Visit RJ's Recreational Vehicles in West Chicago. Restrictions may apply. See dealer for details. For safety and training info, contact the ATV Safety Institute.
In moments, Donald Trump will be heading to the Hill to have that meeting with Paul Ryan.
Yes, and the Washington press corps is assembled there waiting for the white smoke. And at the bottom of the hour, 8:38, we'll have the parent of a transgendered child in District 211 talk about the bathroom and locker room controversy in that school district. That's at 8:38.
But first, let's go back into the newsroom and say good morning to Mike Scott.
Amy and Dan, at least 4 injured in a shooting on Chicago's South Side. A man suspected of killing another man and 2 women in the Inglewood neighborhood remains barricaded in a home inside the city's Fernwood neighborhood. University of Illinois and Illinois State are partners in a big technology deal, and we may have some sun returning today. WIND Chicago News Time, 8 o'clock.
Fox News Radio, I'm Lisa Brady. The presumptive nominee of a fractured Republican Party just arriving at GOP headquarters in Washington, where Fox Radio's Jared Halpern is live.
House Speaker Paul Ryan and Donald Trump are both here at the Republican National Committee. So, too, are a few immigrant right protesters. This meeting between Trump and Ryan, the first session in what is called the first step in a unification process that Ryan says will take work after possibly the most contentious primary in modern history. It will include Ryan, Trump, and RNC Chairman Reince Priebus. Other House GOP leaders arrive here later this hour to meet with Trump. The presumptive Republican nominee has a late morning sit-down with Senate Majority Leader Mitch McConnell and several other GOP Senate leaders. Lisa.
Thanks, Jared. The president of Brazil, the world's 4th largest democracy, is impeached in a corruption scandal.
She is accused of cooking the books as president, running up huge deficit spending on the way to re-election, and then hiding those deficits. She has called this a coup against democracy and says she will fight until the very end.
Fox's Steve Harrigan in Brasilia. Today's Senate vote sets up a trial and puts the vice president in charge just 2 months before the Rio Olympics. A potential Olympic corruption scandal under investigation in Europe. Fox Radio's Simon Owen live in London.
Lisa, this is related to Tokyo winning the right to host the Olympics in 2020. French prosecutors just confirming they are investigating payments totaling $2 million made from a Japanese bank to an account believed to be linked to the son of one of the top officials who voted in the contest, Lamine Diack, the former head of track and field's governing body, who is under investigation in France for corruption. Japanese officials yet to comment. They've previously insisted their campaign was clean. Lisa?
Thanks, Simon. Just ahead of the opening bell, Dow futures are higher as oil prices soar, topping $46 a barrel. You're listening to Fox News Radio, fair and balanced.
Mostly cloudy skies, 61 degrees, 8:02 is our time on AM 560. The Answer, good morning. I'm Mike Scott. A man suspected of killing another man and 2 women in the Inglewood neighborhood of Chicago overnight is barricaded in a house in our city's Fernwood neighborhood as SWAT members, police officers, ambulances are surrounding a home right now near West 104th and South Emerald Avenue. The shooter is holed up in a front bedroom, according to investigators who believe the suspect killed a 50-year-old man, a 30-year-old woman, and a 26-year-old woman in a domestic-related shooting. At least 4 have been shot in Chicago's Park Manor neighborhood on the city's south side. Police officer Thomas Sweeney tells us victims were approached by someone on foot late on Wednesday, who opened fire and then fled in a nearby vehicle. Mayor Emanuel is set to name Andrea Zopp Chicago's new deputy mayor. Mayor's office says an official announcement is scheduled for later today. Friends of the Parks continuing to push forward in their quest to keep the Lucas Museum off Chicago's lakefront. Group filed a motion yesterday claiming in their lawsuit against the project that it deserves to be decided in court. San Diego swept a pair from the Cubs in a day-night doubleheader. Texas over the White Sox 6-5. Vancouver beat the Fire 2-1. The news, a service of GoDaddy. Running your own business, running you ragged? GoDaddy can help with memorable domains, website design, online marketing tools, and 24/7 expert advice. You can do it. Correction, you can kill it with GoDaddy. Go you. GoDaddy. 8:03, time for the AM 560 Business Beat. From the Fox Business Network and a service of Turnkey.pro, here's Jenny Casola.
From the Fox Business Network, Nissan Motor Company is buying more than a third of Mitsubishi, which will give Nissan a controlling interest. Mitsubishi dealing with a growing scandal about its fuel economy on models for Japan. U.S. regulators have asked for more information about Mitsubishi cars here. Being controlled by Nissan will help Mitsubishi deal with its mess, but also could help Nissan sell cars in China, Thailand, and the Philippines. Audi is predicting record sales this year, despite extremely challenging business conditions. Audi's parent company Volkswagen is still dealing with the emissions test cheating scandal. There will be more than 20 all-new or redesigned models from Audi this year. The company believes this year will top last year's sales. Kohl's is admitting its start to the year was disappointing. Sales dropped. That was a surprise. Kohl's says it marked down excess merchandise and the company is still on track. The Dow was down 217 yesterday. With the Fox Business Report, I'm Ginny Cosola.
It's 8:04 and a check of traffic and weather on the way next on AM 560.
Personal finance is 80% behavior, 20% head knowledge.
Dave Ramsey.
The reason you're in debt is behavior, not math. The way you get out of debt is behavior, change, not math. You can't borrow your way out of debt. How many times have you heard someone say, I had a whole bunch of credit card debt and I paid it off by getting a second mortgage? You didn't pay it off. You moved it.
The Dave Ramsey Show, weeknights starting at 7, right before Michael Medved at 10. Presented by Wintrust Community Bank on AM 560. The Answer.
Focus. You need it to run a business, so don't let legal questions distract you. Use LegalZoom instead. Things like lease agreements and employment laws get complicated, but they're part of running a business. That's why LegalZoom built a network of independent attorneys in 48 states. You can rely on them for the legal details without paying by the hour, since LegalZoom isn't a law firm. So focus on growing your business and use LegalZoom for the legal stuff. LegalZoom. Legal help is here.
It's the Ready to Ride sales event and time to gear up for your ultimate adventure. Enjoy summertime fun on a Can-Am ATV, side-by-side, Can-Am Spyder, or Sea-Doo watercraft. Hurry in by May 31st and save up to $2,500 on select 2015 models. Plus, get great financing. Get ready to ride because the fun starts now. Visit Maxim Power Sports in Merrillville. Subject to credit approval. Restrictions may apply. See dealer for details. For safety and training info, contact the ATV Safety Institute.
It is 8:06. Let's get an update on the roads at our Guardian Security Services Traffic Center. Here is Jim Talamonte.
Thanks, Mike. The inbound Kennedy has heavy delays from Sayre to the Burn Circle. It is an hour and 5 minutes O'Hare to downtown, 40 minutes from Montrose, 30 in the Express. Outbound 40 minutes to Montrose and an hour to O'Hare. Jan from the Circle to Harlem. The Edens is 30 minutes, Lake Hook to the Junction, outbound 35. The Eisenhower, an hour and 15 minutes, Thorndale to downtown, an hour from Manheim, outbound an hour and 5 minutes to Thorndale. Stevenson, an hour, 3:55 to Lakeshore Drive, outbound 42 minutes. The Ryan is 30 minutes, 95th to the Loop. Tri-State, southbound really jammed from 132 in Gurnee to 60. Northbound delays, 115th to 31st. Roosevelt to North Avenue, and then it's slow from around Oakton to Gulf Road. There was an earlier southbound car fire. Adams Tollway bumper to bumper, Barrington Road to 53. Veterans Memorial slow Boughton most of the way to Roosevelt, and Army Trail to 290. Traffic answers when you need them most. I'm Jim Talamonte on AM 560, The Answer.
Chicago's Morning Answer continues next. Your official Chicagoland weather forecast from the aircomfort.com Weather Center. 80 years of quality mechanical solutions for your business. Here's our meteorologist, Kevin Snyder.
Morning fog with a shower in the area early, then breaks of sun and breezy for the afternoon, high 72. Mainly clear and breezy tonight, low 49. Turning cloudy tomorrow, still breezy. Periods of rain late in the day, high 66. I'm Kevin Snyder on AM 560. The Answer.
63 at O'Hare, 63 along Chicago's lakefront. Your next news update is at 8:30. Chicago's Morning Answer with Dan and Amy continues next on AM 560, The Answer.
This hourly segment is brought to you by Ed Lukasik Jr. of RE/MAX Professionals. Get more money for your home by listing with a real marketing expert.
Good morning. Welcome to your Thursday morning briefing. Here's what you need to know to start your day.
Number one, I have a lot of respect for Paul, and I think we're going to have a very good meeting, I hope.
We just need to get to know each other, and we, as a leadership team, are enjoying the fact that we have a chance to meet with him.
The things I'm the most proud of were the more serious speeches, I think. Healthcare.
Lovett wrote the line about, if you like your insurance, you can keep it.
How dare you?
This is Chicago's Morning Answer with Dan Proft and Amy Jacobson on AM 560. The Answer.
Good morning, Dan and Amy. Paul Ryan and Donald Trump about to meet, and you heard clips at the top, both in advance of today's meeting. Kind of tamping down some of the rhetoric, suggesting respect for one another, suggesting they hope to get to know one another, have a good meeting. Donald Trump saying he still wants him to be the convention chairman. So I suspect this will tamp down the antagonism that the media is trying to foment.
Do you see the media scrum outside of the place?
Yeah.
There's hundreds of cameras. There's some protesters, and of course they have another camera, like a 6 split screen right now. You're going to follow Paul Ryan's SUV to the RNC headquarters and Donald Trump's SUV to the RNC headquarters. It's a little much.
What should Donald Trump say to Paul Ryan? 312-642-5600, turnkey.pro answer line, 64636DA, turnkey.pro text line. And what should Paul Ryan say to Donald Trump?
And should Paul Ryan's backing, is it necessary? 312-642-5600. Eric Trump, Donald Trump's one of his sons, came out and said, well, we don't really need his love. We don't need his blessing, because I feel like that's what Donald Trump is getting today, a blessing from Paul Ryan. But I think party unity is needed, especially at this point, since he's such an outside candidate, since he's so bold and brass and says such crazy things. It's important for me personally as a voter, because I'm still undecided. It's important for me for Paul Ryan to work together with Donald Trump.
Yeah, it's an unnecessary fight. If you're thinking about Donald Trump's electoral prospects, it's an unnecessary fight. And as a candidate representing a party, it's your responsibility to avoid unnecessary fights and consolidate support where you can. It's just as simple as that. I want to also mention a scrum that Trump got into, of course, via Twitter.
Of course, that's how he operates.
His outlet of choice, with Dr. Russell Moore. Russell Moore is a theologian and ethicist who heads the Ethics and Religious Liberty Commission, which is the public policy arm of the Southern Baptist Convention. He was on the Sunday talk shows over the weekend, and he said, and this hasn't gotten as much play because it's substantive matter, so the media is less interested than this kind of, quasi-beer summit. He said on Face the Nation, did Russell Moore, what we have in the Donald Trump phenomena is an embrace of the very kind of moral and cultural decadence that conservatives have been saying for a long time is the problem. In a weekend op-ed in New York Times, he also had some digs at some Trump supporters and has been expressing concern as an evangelical Christian about the rise of Trump since early in the race. Trump tweeted in response to all of what Russell Moore had to say, Russell Moore is truly a terrible representative of evangelicals and all the good they stand for, a nasty guy with no heart. Well, Russell Moore responded.
How did he respond to the response?
He took to
Facebook?
No, he was on one of the cable shows yesterday, and he responded to Trump's claim that Russell Moore is a terrible representative of evangelicals and all of the good they stand for, a nasty guy with no heart.
He says that I am a nasty guy with no heart. That's true. I am a nasty guy with no heart, which is why I need forgiveness of sins and redemption through the gospel of Jesus Christ. And I think that's where most evangelicals are. We're looking, though, at a situation where there's a reality television character who is saying, let's not just accept what we see as cultural decay. Let's glory in it. And I think that's a problem long beyond this presidential election for the culture.
Yeah, that's a nice little piece of jujitsu by Russell Moore. You're right. I'm a nasty guy. That's why I need the grace of God. Yeah, exactly. There's somebody who understands the faith as opposed to Mr. 2 Corinthians.
Do I have it right? 2 Corinthians?
Corinthians part 2.
Just say the deuce.
And here's the other thing. So with as much focus there is on Paul Ryan and Donald Trump, it turns out that Russell Moore probably has influence over more voters than Paul Ryan does because of his standing in the evangelical Christian community. And Christianity Today reports, Christianity Today, an outlet, reports Trump has a net favorability rating of minus 38% among evangelicals. And a lot of evangelicals feeling abandoned by the GOP after Trump's ascent. So in terms of thinking about where you need to consolidate support, where you need to extend an olive branch and whose responsibility is that? Well, it's Donald Trump's. The evangelical Christian vote is important for his success in some of these swing states. And that is a much more important voting bloc than is Paul Ryan as a singular politician, even as Speaker of the House. So something to consider when Trump decides to pick his fights, and he picked the wrong fight on the wrong topic with Russell Moore, in my estimation, not only on the substance of the matter, but also politically, if you are interested in seeing Trump in the White House. Let's go to John in Palatine. You're on Chicago's Morning Answer.
Hey, Dan, I'd like to turn this around a little bit, but I think Trump should say to Paul Ryan, do what the people elected you to do. Do your job and hold a chair of the convention. I think that Paul Ryan's suggestion that Trump could tell him to step down was a trap because he just wants to absolve himself from the whole thing. And I think Trump's jujitsu, if you will, to use your term, just tell Ryan to say, hey, do your job, and that would make him look very silly.
Thanks for the call, John. I mean, it's an interesting point that Paul Ryan may be looking for an exit, and Trump brings him back in, wants to fold him in, which is smart on Trump's from Trump's perspective. Yeah, I mean, that makes some sense to me. Yeah, I don't disagree with that. Bob in Waukegan, you're on Chicago's Morning Answer.
Yeah, Dan and Amy, love the show. I was reading my Wall Street Journal before I came to my job this morning and house painting, but I read the part on the bomb dropped on Hiroshima in the 1940s, 1945, I guess it was. And it talked about President Truman, the decision he had to make. And he said, sometimes when you're in this situation, he goes, you have to pick the lesser of two evils. I also need to say that I'm an evangelical Christian, so I understand, the part you were just talking about. I'm voting for Trump. He was my 17th choice. But Truman said you have to pick the lesser of two evils sometimes when you're in a position of power, like being the president. And he goes, I just had to pick the lesser of the two evils. The war could have gone on and many more people could have died, or we could stop it then, and that was the decision I had to make. And that's what we as Republicans have to do right now. We have to stop the Democrats, or we're screwed.
Thanks for the call, Bob. Ron in Bourbonnais. Oh, hold on a second, Ron. Sorry. Ron, hey, sorry about that.
No problem. Yeah, my opinion of Russell Moore and a lot of detractors of Trump is they want a solution. Well, Trump is the solution we have, not the perfect solution that they may want. These guys really need to grow up and realize that they're living in a system where one guy wins and other guys lose, and just get on board, because the alternative to Trump is far worse than the Trump reality.
Thanks for the call, Ron. So is that right? Is Trump Batman? He's not the hero we want. He's the hero we need.
Not the hero I need, but for others,
Will
yeah.
Christian Bale play Donald Trump in the Donald Trump movie? Kevin in Northfield, you're on Chicago's Morning Answer.
I want to set Amy straight on a few things. We love her, but this is constructive criticism. Donald Trump never went bankrupt.
No,
Smart,
companies.
Smart, wealthy people who put their money into various silos, and they start companies in those silos, or they make investments within those silos, so that silo can never contaminate the rest of the organism, which is them.
Yeah.
That's what smart people do. Yes, he went bankrupt in these silos, but he personally never went bankrupt, and you got to be specific on that,
He
Amy,
personally
because it
never
sounds
filed
like
for
he's
bankruptcy.
an idiot. He's a smart guy for pursuing the bankruptcy in those corporations.
Tell you what, tough to bankrupt a casino. A license to print money. Thanks for the call, Kevin.
Thanks, Kevin.
Verlin on the south side.
All right, how y'all doing today?
Hey, brother.
Now, I want to say something to Sean from Elwood Park and all these purist Republicans out here, or conservatives, rather. Let me tell you something. I'll be a moron. I'll be an idiot. I will drop, trial, bend over, and take it like a man.
Hey.
Yes,
Wow.
sir. Yes, sir. May I have another? Before I see Hillary Clinton in the White House, I'm going to tell you something. This country promises everybody one thing, whether you were born here or you immigrated here, a chance to be the best you can be and strive to be whatever you can be or not be. Look here. Hillary Clinton promises you dependency for everything that you want from this government. Hillary Clinton is the true racist, not Donald Trump. Hillary Clinton is the next step to insolvency of this country, not Donald Trump. Hillary Clinton will take away your gun rights, not Donald Trump. For people like Sean that believe in the Constitution, you should vote for Donald Trump. Now, and I'm gonna tell all the purists one other thing. When you say I'm not gonna vote, or I'm gonna write somebody in, you're the true moron, idiot.
All right, Verlin.
so
Thanks for the
vote-
call.
vote for Hillary.
I think we need a Verlin-Sean undercard to the Trump-Paul Ryan meeting today. And, in equal time, we'll have to give Sean from Elmwood Park his response to Verlin. Sean?
I tell you, I kind of like that Verlin guy. Verlin, cigar on me, Elmhurst Cigar House. I do like him, but he's just misguided like most of the people who call. Like the guy who talks about silos. He's got a silo, and that goes bankrupt, and it doesn't. Yeah, but you know who pays for the silo? Knucklehead, moron. We all do. It's strategic default. And that is the most vicious and vile and underhanded scum of all the bankruptcies. Because what that means is you could pay for the loss, but you choose to buffer it off on everybody else. And that's character. And that's the character of a fraud, of a scumbag like Donald Trump.
Well,
and here's what he's going to
Sean,
say today.
Yeah.
Yes.
Well, don't you think he should release his tax returns?
Listen to me. He'll never release the tax returns, and he doesn't have to because these disciples that you hear with the torches burning down, calling for Frankenstein, don't realize that the Frankenstein they're calling for was created by people like Donald Trump. He doesn't have to release his tax returns. That's not the issue here. Donald Trump has disciples, and he's going to tell Paul Ryan today, listen, Paul, shut up. I'm on your team, buddy. He's going to do just what he did to the New York Times. There's the transcript I want released, the recording of the New York Times, where he tells people, listen, I'm on your team. Nothing's going to change. There is no wall. Nothing's going to change. Let me these morons behind me, and we'll stampede them right over the cliff because they're going to make trillions. And that's what Donald Trump is about. He is no different than Hillary Clinton, and yet people refuse to see it. He said yesterday, we're going to print more money. Don't worry, we'll have big revenue, and it'll offset it. That's quantitative easing. The thing that all these people say they're against, but they don't care because they feel vindicated by this buffoon.
All right,
they
Sean.
don't realize he's the problem.
All right,
Early
Sean.
cigar on me. Goodbye.
All right, thanks for the call. We'll take more on Trump, and Trump also changing his tune somewhat on his proposal to have a temporary ban on Muslim immigrants. We'll pick that up after this.
Well, what the hell is supposed to do, you moron?
There's only one radio show in Chicago talking about today's biggest stories and telling you what they really mean. That show is this one, Chicago's Morning Answer on AM 560, The Answer.
Another cloudy start to your day. 61 degrees right now, going up to a high of 72 degrees. We will have some sunshine and some breezy conditions by this afternoon, so we just have to be patient. Then tomorrow, Friday, some sun, then clouds, rain late in the afternoon, early in the evening, a high of 66 degrees. Anything bright and sunny on the roadways? Here's Jim Telemonte.
Amy, it's still pretty heavy in most areas. The Tri-State Tollway has very big southbound delays from 132 to Town Line at 60. Northbound stop and go 115th to the 83rd Street Toll, 75th to 31st, and Roosevelt to North Avenue. But Adams Tollway backed up. There's a delay from Barrington Road to 53. The Veterans Memorial slope out into the Reagan Tollway and Army Trail to 290. The Edens is 25 minutes. Lake Cook to Montrose, but up on 40. The Kennedy, an hour and 5 minutes. O'Hare to downtown, outbound an hour. The Eisenhower, an hour and 20 minutes. Thorndale to the Loop, outbound an hour and 5 minutes. Stevenson, an hour, 3:55 to Lakeshore Drive, outbound 40 minutes. The Ryan, 30 minutes, 95th to the Loop. I'm Jim Talamonte of the Guardian Security Services Traffic Center.
Let's get sentimental. Think about how much your father means to you. Now ask, what am I getting Dad for Father's Day on June 19th? But get on it. You should get him a pillow from MyPillow right now. Why? Well, MyPillow helps with snoring, neck, and back pains. If you have allergies, it's a perfect pillow because you can throw it in the washer and dryer. And here's another reason why you should get a washable MyPillow. It's gross, but did you know that 82% of all people don't know that you're supposed to change pillows every 2 years or less? Why? Well, pillows absorb dead skin, dirt, skin oils, and dust mites that can cause allergies, acne, asthma, and who knows what else. So if you haven't already done so, you need a washable MyPillow. And guess what? Get one for your dad. Maybe even get one for your dog. My dog, Bunky, loves to sleep on a MyPillow. And with a 10-year warranty, it's a great gift and healthy investment. And you'll sleep better, too. I know I do. That's why it's the official pillow of the National Sleep Foundation. Visit MyPillow.com. Type Amy in that promo code, AMY. 2 pillows for the price of 1. Do it now, MyPillow.com, or call 800-489-0201. That's 800-489-0201.
Hi, I'm Lex Howard, CEO of Balance of Nature. Statistics show that most people will listen to this commercial 7 times before they finally purchase Balance of Nature. Don't be a statistic. Take action to determine your future.
I just have to tell you, I love Balance of Nature. I've been telling everybody about it. I can't believe how good I feel. Got my husband taking them now, and he's trying to get his mom to take them, because rarely do I take something where I feel a difference. If I'm just taking vitamin D or my multivitamin, I don't really feel a difference. But when I started taking these, I feel a difference. And like I said, I can't tell you how good I feel.
Begin giving your body the fruits and vegetables it needs every day. Accept and complete Dr. Howard's 120-day health challenge to earn a free month supply of Balance of Nature. Call 1-800-2468-751. That's 1-800-2468-751. Or go online to balanceofnature.com. Use promo code CHICAGO.
CertaPro painters are here for every stage of your life, from moving into a new home, creating the ideal nursery, to reinventing your living space. CertaPro painting experts create the perfect setting while you do life. They came to our home and brightened our walls and our moods so very quiet they wouldn't wake a baby. But the best part? They clean up after themselves so you don't have to do it. And now that spring is here, it is the perfect time to spruce up your home's exterior. Take a look at your home. Do you see chipping, peeling, fading? Well, leave it to CertaPro painting experts to refresh, renew, and protect your biggest investment, your home. Now is the time to call for your free estimate and schedule your exterior painting project. 1-800-GO-CERTA, 1-800-GOCERTA. That's CERTA with a C. Or visit CertaPro.com today, CertaPro.com. CertaPro Painters, we do painting, you do life. Each CertaPro Painters business is independently owned and operated.
AM 560, The Answer.
Dan and Amy, so Trump was on Fox and Friends yesterday morning, and
where wasn't he yesterday? He must have done about 12 interviews.
Yeah, obviously all talking about what is going to be said and how he expects the meeting this morning with Paul Ryan to turn out, but also just some other issues, including, boy, does this sound like a politician to you a little bit? You know, the temporary the temporary ban on Muslims, kind of watering it down. It's a proposal. And you know what he's going to do? He's going to form a commission to study the issue.
Right.
Gosh, I don't get. We don't have enough.
Who's going to be the head of that commission? Yeah.
Well, you're about to hear, but we don't have enough task force and blue ribbon panels and commissions in government, do we?
It's a temporary ban, Brian, and we're going to look at it and we're going to study a problem. We have a problem. Now, if you don't want to discuss the problem, then we're never going to solve the problem. We have a president that won't even use the term radical Islamic terrorism. He won't even use the term. He refuses to say the term, even after Paris, where 130 people were killed, or San Bernardino, or any other place. I mean, he refuses. Our president refuses to discuss the term, and it's a real problem, not only here but throughout the world. It's a real problem. So we'll figure it out, and we will get it going. But we have to be extremely careful. In fact, I'm thinking about setting up a commission, perhaps headed by Rudy Giuliani, to take a very serious look at this problem.
There
In
you
fact,
go.
in
That'll
fact, I've
make
got
all
an
the
idea
problems go
that
away.
just entered my head. A commission with Rudy Giuliani at the head of it. I think that's how much thought went into that little add-on at the end. Kurt in Park Ridge on Chicago's Morning Answer. Oh, God bless this thing.
To the right.
Kurt, sorry.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can now. Go ahead, Kurt. Sorry.
I think that Donald and Ryan should talk about things they both, have in common, like the fact that Sean from Menlo Park doesn't like either one of them, and they're both corporates. And that's something that might help them get along better.
Thanks for the call, Kurt. I don't know if Sean from Elmwood Park will come up in the discussion. Clarence in DuPage.
Hey, how you doing?
Hey.
Yeah, this actually, I took the phone from Clarence because we both like to listen to the radio together. We are both retired.
Okay.
And we like to have debate in the morning. And we listen to the show. So thank you.
Well, thank you for listening.
But I want to say I called because that damn fool Sean from Elmwood Park. I wasn't even planning on talking today, calling. But that dude, I'm telling you, he ain't got a job, and if he got a job, he ain't worth a damn because he spent all day being outraged. He's like one of them people. I worked 44 years in the streets of sanitation. I drove a truck in the city. And I'm telling you, it's people I run into them. They want to live every day being outraged about everything. It's like they open up if you had insulation and open it up and get asbestos and itchy stuff all over you and then go sit in a sauna and then complain that you itching. Like, just get on with your life, Sean.
Well, Sean has a job. He's a real estate agent. He owns a cigar
so
place.
here's what I'm.
They could go visit Sean.
Yeah. Hey, Clarence, we're gonna get you and your buddy and Verlin from the South Side. We're gonna go over to Sean's cigar place in Elmer Cigar House, and we're all gonna have a cigar and we're gonna work this out. Thanks for the call, Clarence. Appreciate it.
I'm upset. I'm outraged.
Before you see it on TV, share it on Facebook, or read about it in the paper. Hear it here first. This is Chicago's Morning Answer on AM 560. The Answer.
It's true, you can't take it with you, but you can make sure what you don't take with you goes to the ones you love, not the government. And you can preserve a legacy by doing one of the most important things possible for your children and grandchildren. It's critical to realize that if you don't have an estate plan, everything you own, including your house, cars, and investments, could be tied up in courts for a year or more. It could cost your estate tens of thousands of dollars in probate and legal fees, plus double government taxation. Avoid this by learning estate planning essentials. Tom Fortino of the Alpha Wealth Group and host of the Alpha Wealth Hour, heard Saturdays on AM 560, is hosting a free estate planning workshop on Saturday, May 14th in Oak Brook Terrace. Tom's a featured expert on Fox Business, Fortune, and Money Magazine. To reserve your seat for this free estate planning workshop, call the Alpha Wealth Group today at 630-873-6326. That's 630-873-6326. 630-873-6326. Investment advisory services offered through Retirement Wealth Advisors, Inc.
AM 560. The Answer.
Coming up on Chicago's Morning Answer.
We will talk to the father of a transgender student in District 211 about the bathroom and locker room facility controversies in that school district that are microcosm of the nation at 8:38.
Yeah, and is his son being discriminated against? But first, let's go back into the newsroom. Here is Mike Scott.
Amy and Dan, good morning. Russia is angry this morning over a new missile shield that the U.S. built in Romania and switched on today. It is an $800 million ballistic missile site in a remote part of southern Romania, saying it defends Europe and the U.S. from rogue nations like Iran. Weekly jobless claims are up sharply. Today's figures just released from the Labor Department show 294,000 filed first-time claims for unemployment benefits last week. Donald Trump says his meeting with House Speaker Paul Ryan today is a getting-to-know-you affair.
We want to get to know each other. I think we want to see if we have the same ideas, because I represent a large group of people with very strong ideas and foundations.
Speaker Ryan says the meeting is about unification of the GOP.
You pretend we're unified without actually unifying, then we go into the fall at half strength. This election is too important to go into an election at half strength.
Senate Majority Leader Mitch McConnell has voiced lukewarm support for the Trump nomination as well. A 2-year-old Mississippi girl is dead after being left in a car all day long. It happened in Madison County, where sheriffs say the child's mother thought she had dropped the girl off at daycare. Washington Nationals pitcher Max Scherzer is now in quite an exclusive club. Scherzer became the 4th Major League pitcher to strike out 20 batters in 9 innings. As Washington beat Detroit 3-2, Clemens, Randy Johnson, and some guy named Kerry Wood were the others. A man suspected of killing another man and 2 women in Chicago's Inglewood neighborhood overnight is barricaded in a home in the city's Fernwood neighborhood. Police surround that home on West 104th and South Emerald this morning. Mayor Emanuel set to name Andrea Zopp Chicago's new deputy mayor, an announcement scheduled for later today. And as of this morning, it's now officially legal to sing the national anthem just about anywhere in New York. The state Senate voted unanimously and quickly to approve a measure preventing any city in the state from requiring a permit to pledge allegiance or sing the national anthem. Follows an incident last month at the 9/11 Memorial in New York City where a security guard stopped a North Carolina children's choir mid-national anthem, saying they needed a permit. Chicago sports, San Diego swept out the Cubs in a double dip, Texas over the White Sox. The news service of Staples, with new lower prices on ink and toner and an in-stock guarantee to ensure you always get what you need. In-stock guarantee applies to in-store selection only. Out-of-stock ink and toner will be ordered from in-store kiosk with $10 discount plus free shipping. Limit 1 cartridge per customer. 8:34 and a check of traffic and weather on the way next on AM 560.
Mike Gallagher says it's time for the GOP to come together.
You know the saying, pride goeth before the fall. So now it's time for people to man up, lose your pride, eat your crow, and unify for the good of the United States of America. Now it's time for the real fight to begin.
The Mike Gallagher Show. Weekdays at 9, right before Dennis Prager at 11 on AM 560. The Answer.
LiveWatch helps you connect and respond up to 10 times faster in an emergency. LiveWatch has no long-term contracts. Save up to 50% off home security. Call 855-LiveWatch or visit livewatch.com.
Great talent is the driving force behind your successful business. If you don't have the right people in key roles, then you have talent gaps. IMC Solutions identifies those gaps and delivers expertise in recruiting the right talent to fill them, leaving you free to succeed.
Hi, I'm Linda Nichols, founder of IMC Solutions. We're a niche recruiting and staffing firm that specializes in placing human resources and sales professionals. We've created programs that are just right for your small to medium-sized business because we know that you're looking for expertise, but are also looking at the bottom line expenses to your company. You can take advantage of recruiting services that big companies get, but you don't have to pay the big fees. Our programs and solutions are affordable and bring you the people you need.
IMC Solutions understands the unique challenges of your business, making the tough job of hiring easy. Get started on finding your next hire today at imcsolutions.com or call Linda Nichols at 630-637-6200.
Special announcement. The Big Home Remodeling Expo, a free home show that's open to the public, is coming to the DuPage County Fairgrounds, May 21st and 22nd. If you're looking to remodel your kitchen, bathroom, basement, or maybe get a new roof, flooring, windows, or siding, then this is the event for you. At this 2-day expo, you'll meet local and national contractors displaying their products and services. Get new ideas, set up estimates, and talk directly with contractors, many of which are offering huge discounts. Maybe you need a new furnace, state-of-the-art generator, or just a handyman. You'll find everything you need under one roof. Increase the value of your home and bring your friends and family. Not only will you get a free gift at the door, but come to the show between 10 a.m. and noon on Saturday, May 21st for a chance to win a key that could start a brand new Harley-Davidson. Remember, the DuPage County Home Remodeling Expo, May 21st and 22nd at the Fairgrounds in Wheaton. Get more information at homeshowevent.com. That's homeshowevent.com.
8:37, Guardian Security Services Traffic Center time. Here's Jim Talamonte.
Thanks, Mike. The Edens is heavy outbound with delays. Montrose to Winnetka Road, it's 45 minutes. From Montrose to Lake Cook, inbound 22 minutes. The Kennedy, an hour. From O'Hare to downtown, outbound an hour as well. The Eisenhower, an hour and 25 minutes. Thorndale to the post office, an hour 10 from Manheim. Outbound it's 50 minutes to Thorndale. Stevenson, an hour and 5 minutes, 3:55 to Lakeshore Drive, about 37 minutes. Ryan is 30 minutes, 95 to downtown. Tri-State southbound stop and go, 132 to 137. Northbound heavy, 95 to 31st and Roosevelt to North Avenue. Traffic answers when you need them most. Jim Talamonte, AM 560, The Answer.
Chicago's Morning Answer continues next. Your official Chicagoland weather forecast from the aircomfort.com Weather Center. Sun returns later today, high near 72. Partly cloudy and breezy, 49 overnight. 63 at O'Hare. Next news at 9. Chicago's Morning Answer with Dan and Amy continues next on AM 560, The Answer.
This hourly segment is brought to you by Papa Nicholas Coffee. Papa Nicholas. Great coffee. Period.
If you're looking for the latest news, insight into what it means, and the sharpest opinion, there's only one station in Chicago where you can turn, and it's this one. We're AM 560, The Answer.
Dan and Amy, so as we know, the latest battlefront in the culture war is the bathroom and locker room facilities at K through 12 schools, at public accommodations, as well as private businesses that are open to the public. You've got North Carolina suing the federal government suing North Carolina, and efforts to reinterpret Title VII and Title IX of the Civil Rights Act. Title VII of the Civil Rights Act and Title IX as well. We've talked about this for a while now, and I think really our discussion started with District 211 when it was the issue of the locker room there and allowing someone who identified as a
male student who identified as a female
to change.
Wanted, to use the locker room and also join the girls' gymnastics team.
And that's happened.
Yes.
And more or less. Well, we're now happy to be joined by Steve. He is the parent of a child who graduated from District 211
last year.
Right. Identifies as a
he has a daughter who
identifies as a male.
As a boy, yes.
Okay. All right. Just want to get that clear. And Steve joins us now. Steve, thank you for joining us. Appreciate it. Hold on,
Steve.
I keep doing that.
Hey, with you guys.
Hey,
I
Steve.
listen every morning.
Oh, great.
Thanks,
Steve. So, I guess tell us the story of your child and whether it's through District 211 or subsequent to the graduation, and I guess what you want people to understand as the parent of someone who identifies as different than their biological gender.
Right. Yeah. So I'll say that my daughter's name is Emily. It's not, but we'll just say for story's sake, it's Emily. Let's just say that, Emily is a very driven, very serious student, creative thinker, achieves most of the goals she sets for herself. And so when she came to us with this life-changing news, we knew because of who she was that she was serious, and of course we were, to say the least, stunned and blindsided that she had kept this totally hidden from us. She's,
How old was she when she came to you, and how long has she felt like she was a man rather than a woman?
Yeah, well, she came to us during this gap year, but she was a very happy kid until about 7th or 8th grade, like most of us. Middle school is generally a very traumatic time.
Not for Amy. She was already going to proms in 8th grade.
Oh, my goodness.
It was hard for me, yes.
Well, yeah, and just to tell you how driven Emily is, she was actually already attending college when she was in 8th grade. She started to attend college classes as well. She's a very gifted person. But anyway, like most of us, it's a traumatic time. The hormones are kicking into gear, and everyone's fighting for dominance in their groups. Some groups are challenging other groups, et cetera. And also, the attraction starts. Guys and girls start to look at each other and all that kind of stuff. And, they start to look at the sex that they're interested in sexually, and now we know that, for the most cases, they look at the opposite sex, but, some look at the same sex. And she had one friend who was a lesbian. She liked to, learn who were the other lesbian girls, and they would have, some little, just like you would do in 7th and 8th grade.
Right, but being a lesbian and wanting to be a man are two different things. Don't you think?
That is what my point is. She started to notice things that were not happening to her. She started to question herself. And this is interesting, and we had
no idea this happened. Why did she not have any attraction to either sex? None. She was fully into puberty, but there was no attraction. And many transgender people have no desire for sex or arousal. They have no attraction whatsoever to either males or females. And that is the majority of transsexual individuals. And then high school hit, and at the time she started to become very depressed. You know, she wasn't feeling those feelings like all the other people she talked to were. She kept it totally hidden from her friends. And it worsened through high school. She had traumatic thoughts when she would look into the mirror. And she described it as tumors on her body. Her mind saw her top and her bottom areas this way because her brain is saying to her, those should not be there. You're a male. Those are foreign.
Steve, can I ask you a question? At that point where she started to not feel good about herself, was there an effort to intervene with counseling of any sort?
Yes. She didn't understand what it was. And so she came to us and, you know, she started to say that, you know, I don't want to hug anybody because her endowed top would compress in a hug. You know, but her brain is telling her that there should be nothing there to compress. And so this mismatch, you know, between her brain and her body became so traumatic that she came to us because she was contemplating suicide many, many times. And
so have you taken her psychiatrist? I mean, has she gotten treatment?
Yeah.
And is she going to now go through with the surgery?
Yes, yes. And so, you know, in order to have the surgery, you know, the medical community, you know, they need to describe it. And so in Matthew, now his name is Matthew. In Matthew's case, he has extreme gender dysphoria. He's a trans male. He's assigned female at birth prenatally, and he's now transitioning to a male.
And that's happening during
right now.
College. Oh, so it's
during
happening. It's happening
right now.
And
right now.
And the response during this transition is your child is happier, is excited about.
Oh my God! Unbelievably much happier. He talks now. He hugs now. He likes the sound of his voice. Finally, he has a voice that his brain is telling him that is a male voice. He uses compression on his chest right now because he hasn't had surgery. He wears loose clothing, you know, so that he doesn't see what shouldn't be there. You know what I mean? He hides it. And still not everybody knows. Our close family knows. People in town know, but there are distant relatives that still don't know.
All right,
so because it is so hard, it's such a new thing. You know, it has nothing to do with being gay or anything. It's something absolutely different.
What about the? I mean, that's a bit different than a lot of what we're seeing and discussing, where people are just identifying as a gender other than their biological gender, but they're not, going to this extent to actually pursue gender reassignment surgery, and then anybody can identify as anything for any amount of time and then identify as something different, and this is part of the confusion and the concern about bathroom policy and locker room policy, including at the district your child attended, and I wonder what you think about that.
Yeah, well, a true transgender person has, some form of, a true transgender person feels like he is not the sex that he is reassigned. There are some, I guess, I'm just learning about this here. There are some cases, because God doesn't paint all black and all white, as we know. There are grays and everything. And some people float between genders, and it's just the way their brain is wired.
Yeah, but do you think that we should change the rules? I mean, my son said it to me best. He said, why, if I'm at Target, why can't a transgender or transsexual person use the single occupancy bathroom and let me still as a man or as a boy use that bathroom without being fearful of people coming in that aren't the same gender as him?
Yeah, well, I think Illinois Wesleyan, I like the way Illinois Wesleyan, he had a lot of scholarships aligned with different universities.
And that's where your son's going to go next year, right?
And he picked Illinois Wesleyan because, first of all, they are very LGBTQ friendly. They make it very, very safe. These kids are just trying to be the best they can be. They want to be just like everybody else, you know?
All right, well, when your son goes to Target, which bathroom does he use?
He will use the male bathroom.
Okay.
And do you have any concerns about where your son will be psychologically after the surgery is complete? Because, I mean, we know from research, we know why Johns Hopkins stopped performing gender reassignment surgeries, that the outcomes are not all happy. And so I just wonder if you still have concerns, even though your transitioning son is happy with that he's transitioning.
Well, in his case, he would love to feel the way that he would love his body to look the way his mind says it should look. It should look like a male. And we can see signs, very apparent signs. He's the same person he has been all his life. You know, that's the one thing we've noticed.
But I mean,
so his body is now going to be what his mind says it should be. And that is making him a very, very happy person again.
But is he old enough to know that he can't turn back? I mean, there's no turning back.
Old enough. But I mean, I get the mind thing. So this is key, right? And I just wonder if this was explored and continues to be explored. You know, just because we think something doesn't mean we're right.
So his mind is a male mind. His mind, when it looks at himself in the mirror and having a female body, there is an extreme mismatch that is hard to comprehend for somebody that is not wired that way. Mm-hmm. And that things that aren't supposed to be there are very, very traumatic. And they're so traumatic that the suicide rate with transgender folks is 46%, compared to the national suicide rate of 1.5%.
Right, yeah.
If they don't reconcile somehow with that, and in the case of Matthew, he has extreme gender dysphoria. If he doesn't rectify that, and as I illustrated, he doesn't have many options. He will either commit suicide or do something about it. And he discovered all this stuff on his own because of who he is. Like I said, he's a very serious student, you know?
All right.
He's a very brainy kid, and he figures things out. And like I said, when he came to us, we knew he was serious. He doesn't just come up with stuff. You know what I mean? He researches everything absolutely and then decides on the right course of action.
Steve, parent of a child who's transitioning from female to male, going to Illinois Wesleyan for college. Steve, thanks so much for joining us and telling us your story. We appreciate it.
Oh, you're very, very welcome. Thank you.
And he joined us on our turnkey.pro answer line.
Connect with Dan and Amy on the AM 560 The Answer mobile app. Just text the word app to 64636 to download the app today.
Cloudy skies right now, 61 degrees, a touch of humidity out there. We're going up to a high of 72 degrees. And then tomorrow we're going to have some sun, but we can't rule out a late afternoon, early evening thunderstorm. A high of 66 degrees. Anything dangerous on the roadways? Here's Jim Telemonte.
We have some significant delays right now, Amy, and there is a police activity on the south side around 103rd and Emerald. There's an ongoing situation there, which has 103rd blocked off. Edens is 22 minutes. Lake Hook to Montrose outbound still very heavy at 40 minutes. The Kennedy, an hour. O'Hare to downtown, and outbound it's still an hour as well. The Eisenhower, an hour and 20 minutes. Thorndale to the post office, outbound 50 minutes. Stevenson, an hour and 5 minutes. 355 to Lakeshore Drive. Ryan, 30 minutes, 95th to downtown. Tri-State southbound. Stop and go, 132 to 137. Northbound from 95th to 31st and Roosevelt to North Avenue. Eastbound Adams tollway delays. Roselle to 53 and Bussey to Lee. I'm Jim Talamonte, the Guardian Security Services Traffic Center.
We're so excited about our sold-out golf outing at the Bolingbrook Golf Club coming up on Thursday, June 16th to benefit Operation Support Our Troops America.
If you weren't able to get in this year, don't worry. You can still reserve a tee time at the Bolingbrook Golf Club anytime this spring or summer by visiting BolingbrookGolfClub.com.
And thanks to the sponsors who are making our golf outing possible.
Remax Professionals, Charity Golf International, Dr. Amy and Associates, MJ Miller and Company Jewelers in Barrington, Augustino's Rock and Roll Deli, and Pearl Mortgage.
Mike Rowe here with a quick IAQ test from my buddy Bill.
Wait, I didn't study.
IAQ stands for Indoor Air Quality, something 1 hour excels at.
Well, I aced my SATs, so...
Yes or no? Do you breathe inside your home?
Yeah.
And what do you breathe?
Air.
And what's in that air?
Air?
Sorry, we were looking for dust mites, household pollutants, even formaldehyde.
Wait, I need to move.
Or you could call 1 hour and improve your IAQ.
That sounds smarter.
Let's see how you do with the disclaimer.
Each independent franchise is licensed in its respective state or county.
Not bad.
You know, I've always been afraid we don't get enough, and that's why I feel so secure in taking Balance of Nature. But as long as I can get those fruits and vegetables, that's what, to me, is very important.
Well, you know, I heard all the advertisements on the radios where I first heard about this, and of course, I thought, well, you know, I need to order that because I don't get my fruits and vegetables like I should. I eat some, but not all. So I started taking the product, and I've taken it religiously now for, I guess, 3 months, going on 3 months now, and I told my wife I can definitely tell a difference. So it's a good product.
Make the change today. No more synthetics, no more extracts. Today is your chance to get it right. Accept and complete Dr. Howard's 120-day health challenge to earn a free month supply of Balance of Nature. Call 1-800-2468-751. That's 1-800-2468-751. Or go online to balanceofnature.com. Use promo code CHICAGO.
I'm Dan Proft with an Upstream idea brought to you by the Illinois Opportunity Project. 27 Illinois state employees, on average, receive total compensation 27% higher than their private sector counterparts. State employees made nearly $4,000 more in wages and $13,000 in benefits than private sector employees. More than half of state workers will retire before the age of 60 with a guaranteed state pension. The state is in a